Hello Internet, and welcome to tonight's episode of Tales of Terragia. I am your Dungeon Master and Cosmic Tour Guide, Nick Salentano, and I'm here with the 6 greatest players that are on loan from Waterdeep. Say hi, everybody! Hi! Thank you guys for joining us for Tales of Terragia, and just a friendly reminder, if you like what you see here, like, subscribe, follow, and you can follow us on any of the social media links that you see right below me right here. If you follow us, say hi and tell us what you like or what you hate. We're not going to listen to what you hate. We're definitely going to listen to what you like. But, you know, shoot your shot. Last time, this group of 6 individuals, all brought together one way or another to port elsewhere, agreed to take it upon themselves to uncover the truth behind the Tartaruchi cult and the havoc they have been wreaking on the city. You uncovered their base of operations, a laboratory of sorts, beneath the Horizon's End lighthouse. They seem to be cultivating or manipulating something that they are calling the lifeblood, a strange electric teal substance that have been you've found to have both medicinal and caustic properties, depending on the state that you find it. After luring out some members of the cult with a 5-star performance at the Music Box Tavern, you seem to have caught the cultist's attention. That very next morning, a cult member who you identified as a simple civilian just the day prior, tried to steal the severed hand from you, making it and forcing you to make a difficult choice to either end this cultist before he could be manipulated into bringing in any more harm to you, or just, you know, finishing the job and cutting any loose ends. Agreeing to cut any loose ends, this little group here, though motives and methods of the cult are still shrouded in mystery, their impact on the city is clear, and just who knows how far they plan to go. Thinking it would be safer outside the city, you all split up, Anara, Nik-Nak, and Sledgehog, taking the metal box and the hand outside of the city, and setting up camp on the outskirts of town, triangulating a safe location that's kind of equal distance between Port Elsewhere and the lighthouse. Harmony, Tem, Zakkai, and Basil, meanwhile, headed to the Ventureman's Market to gather supplies and fabric to help disguise yourselves as Tartaruchi members. With supplies gathered, resolves steeled, and both parts of your party now reconvening, you have nothing to do but wait. So, as of yet to be named adventuring party, what's going on?
Are we back outside the city now?
Unless the city group had any more things that you wanted to accomplish in the city, I'll say that you guys are kind of headed back on the way to the outskirts of town. And as you kind of headed towards the outskirts of town, you see on the kind of walls of the city, there is a small, amateur-looking ink blot on the side of the wall that faintly resembles a squid-like creature. And as you kind of get close to it, you kind of see one of those like inky blots on the wall twitch a little bit before kind of like popping off the wall and then waving you over and then kind of going back to the wall.
I guess we follow the squid. That's our slink.
Yeah, that looks like Slink.
Yeah, I'll start walking toward it.
Found somewhere to go, so
You kind of get there and just kind of peels off the wall before kind of scrambling and gooing along the ground, and kind of, as you watch it, kind of like not disappears, but definitely kind of tries to mask itself with the underbrush as it kind of just starts squidding its way beneath the leaves and the brush off in a direction, hoping that you follow it.
They follow it. Yeah.
It's kind of amazing how no branches or leaves ever stick to Slink. I wonder what that magic is.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused about what he's made out of, too, or they're made out of.
I don't know, I just want to catch it.
Well,
Don't hurt it. It's slippery. Oh,
Like jog after. I do a little one of the heel wobbles.
And I'll keep pace as well.
Yeah. Before you heading into the forest, Nik-Nak and Anara, you're already kind of like waiting. And did you set up camp at all? Doing anything to what's going on at base camp?
I am going to once we've set up. Are you going to do that little thing around?
Oh yeah. Hold on. Let me just get some like leaves or something to cover up the sledge.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hunt for some herbs.
No, all right.
So I'll be just in and around the area.
Okay, keep it in like shouting distance.
Won't go far.
Okay. So I'll like try to put some brush all over Sledgehog just to try and disguise him a little bit.
You see that he kind of like reaches out and takes like a handful of dirt and just kind of.
Good job.
That's his contribution.
I don't have a high hope, but I'm going to just look around the plant, whatever plant growth there is in the immediate vicinity. I'm not going to go further than shouting distance. Just see what kind of herbs there are. See if I can find any of the.
Give me a nature check or survival. Or foraging or something.
That is a 17.
17. Nice. Bad. Kind of like searching the area and looking around, you do see that, especially being so close to like the sea, this is very fertile like landscape, kind of the outside grasslands that extend out from the coast that kind of lead out away from Port Elsewhere. Very fertile, very rich, lots of trees, lots of plants and flowers some that you've seen before, some you recognize, some that you've never seen before. You do not find what you're looking for, unfortunately.
Okay.
Bit too rare in these parts.
I'll head back to the camp and I'll keep a lookout. Just hoping to see the rest of the group arriving, but also checking that there isn't any sign of anyone approaching.
I'll do the same. I'll probably try and like climb a tree and get like a vantage point. If I can spot the lighthouse from here, I would probably try to find a spot like that.
Yeah. Give me a perception check real quick as you, with advantage, you scamper up a tree to get a good vantage point.
19.
19. You guys have moved just far enough away to be like kind of outside the city, but you've triangulated a good part that's equidistant between the city and the lighthouse itself. So as you kind of scamper up the tree, you do see it. There's like you see the top, maybe like fourth of it, kind of sticking over the tops of the trees, less than a mile, maybe like a little bit less than a half a mile away from you guys. But you can see it. You also see 4 figures kind of moving through the woods, kind of up toward you, and you get nervous at first, but then you see large elephant ears, and you see the familiar like reddish, kind of amber fur, kind of pouncing from one place to another, and you immediately recognize that as Basil.
I'll shout down to Anara. They're coming. They're coming.
Slow down.
After a few seconds, just barreling around a tree, it's just like this black blob of ink just kind of just quickly squirts around and is rushing towards you, trying not to be snatched up by a large rabbit.
I'll let Slink run up my arm and shoulder.
As soon as like Slink like climbs up the shoulder, it kind of just flattens and becomes just a solid ink marking on your body.
I'm like pouncing up and I just like say,
Hello.
Hi.
sorry, that was fine. It's good chase, good chase.
We're back.
This seems well suited. I feel comfortable here.
Yeah, looks like a good spot. Thanks, guys.
I haven't been in trouble yet, so.
Can I make a perception check to see if I can find Sledgehog? See if he's okay.
Absolutely.
Where's Sledge? Where'd he go? It's 20.
20. You see.
Get it out of the system.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a good one. It's a good
Use
one.
it here. Use it here.
How camouflaged it is.
You see a small pile of like leaves and twigs and brush, about like this tall, this wide, sitting on top of a large kind of grass sphere. So you see,
Sledgy!
immediately pops up and hurtles over to you, and like large little metal arms just snap around you and like pull you into like a tight squeeze.
Warm. So sweet.
So cute.
Oh, was he hiding?
Well, not anymore. But it's okay. We're all here.
How did the shopping trip go?
Yeah, what'd you get?
Oh,
Supplies?
it went well. I'll like take my pack off and like pull out the bolts of fabric. This not exact, but should be close enough for me to approximate some passable outfits for us if we're, going to try and use them to get inside. But I'll have to start on those soon.
Well, it turns out that none of the merchants at the market sold explosives per se, and I wasn't sure what substances to buy to make one, so we kind of just have fabric right now.
Yeah, Nik-Nak,
Does
you
anyone
usually make
know?
that, so I didn't know how to make the booms.
Yeah, that's fine.
I should have asked you before we left.
Mission failed.
I thought I would
Just
just buy one, made already, put together.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense that they probably wouldn't carry like blasting powder and canisters and wicks and fuses and the things we need, but,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
It makes a
We're
lot.
supposed to know.
It makes more sense now. But would there be like blasting powder? Is that like a thing?
Definitely is a thing. Gunpowder, black powder, whatever you want to call it, definitely exists. Firearms exist. They're still in the early kind of stages. They're still kind of rudimentary, and nothing has gone past kind of like in the very, very fringes of places you might be able to find like a revolver or a musket or something like that. But a lot of the Nik-Nak's like kind of boomstick is so far one of the more advanced kind of like firearms any of you have ever seen. You're aware of their existence and blasting powder and what it kind of does, but you do know that it's not exactly the most common thing in the world. So it's not, it's not like you did a huge failure by not finding it. It is not a common thing to find.
Well, Nik-Nak, how does your boomstick? How does that work?
Well, it's a little bit of a mix of things. I do need sort of like ammunition, but I have plenty of that, and it works more on an arcane level, so I don't need the powder for it.
Okay. Well, maybe we could think of something else to use instead, if we need it.
Yeah, they might have something in the lighthouse. We don't know.
Were you able
We
to
could
get
just-
ink for me?
Oh yeah. I pull out the indigo black and the plain black ink, and I'll give it to Anara.
Fantastic, thank you.
Yeah, it's 10 gold's worth. Guys, got what I could.
I'm
Well-
glad some of you were successful.
Well,
More successful.
I
Maybe
wasn't
the next
as
night we'll have bombs applied.
successful as I would have liked to be. It didn't lead to
Bigger
any
city.
new information, unfortunately. The fabric shop owner who I tried to talk up about this, what I would think would be a unique color of fabric for people here, didn't really have any leads on it, and who may be buying or using this sort of thing here. So
Perhaps they are not from around here or dye the materials themselves. But this is quite a good close enough
It's-
match, I
it
think,
sh-
especially
it should be
in
good.
the dark.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. And I am gonna try and make as good of copies as I can. Just and do you all know your measurements, or should I take them?
Oh, I know mine. I can
I
help a
pull out a
little
little pad and say, okay, yeah.
Whatever there.
Okay. Anyone else?
You're not going to tell us?
26, 24, 36! And she's 5'3"! Right, yeah. Exactly.
Put that in canon.
I see. It's canon until further.
Put that in a little key.
You'll have to measure me.
Yeah, Tem will
You'd love
take
that,
out
wouldn't you?
his weaver's tools. He'll.
Is this clothed or non-clothed?
You don't need it.
I don't need clothes?
Just stand don't. And then I'm just gonna just take everyone's measurements so that I can get like proper sizing for stuff. And then I think I will just like start laying out a little station. You see like Tem take like even more fabric out of his pack, but it's like, like rough spun canvas sort of thing. Props up a little like tent sort of thing. They're on like little poles there. And he brings out like what essentially amounts to like this world version of like a portable sewing machine being like literally just like many needles, threads, some scissors, things like that, and lays it all out and starts like tracing out patterns, and we'll get to work making those costumes.
On the way up here, we took a short diversion by the coast where the lighthouse bluffs are, and we spotted that Nik-Nak and I some possible entrances to pipes that you may remember when we were under the lighthouse. There was that big pipe.
They
pipe that
led
seemed to
into
be
the
leading
basement?
back toward the city, or it may be another way in.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
rather than
So maybe
using
maybe
the
checking the
front door.
sewers.
The sewers, yeah. It seemed to be a
Probably better than
large
the
barred
lighthouse.
pipe. We would have to find a way
We're-
past the bar, but maybe a more stealthy way
Yeah.
inside
We're
Especially-
pretty
Probably
recognizable.
break the
and-
bars pretty easily.
the. Yeah, I think. yeah. that would be-
Well, we have some of the
You could
teal.
smash. You could
That
smash.
substance was corrosive, right? So we could maybe at least weaken the bars, and maybe Basil could
maybe a
Smash.
deliver the final
Smash.
blow.
Cut.
Cut.
Yeah.
better way
Sneaky.
in than stand the front door.
Mm.
They may be on alert since
Yeah.
our last visit.
Yeah.
And if we can get in unseen in disguise, we can blend in easier.
Right. Yeah.
Well, if you need any help sewing the cloaks, I can try to lend a hand.
Yeah, you can help cut. Just
Okay.
hand a pair of scissors, and Basil, do you want to help cut as well too? With these, with these.
I'll make the large cuts.
Yeah, I'll have you like do like the large big swath ones. Give you a tiny
then I
pair of
trim
scissors.
out the-
Yeah, trim that out, and then as I start doing the fine sewing work on them.
I know a little bit. I usually don't tell anybody. I usually shorten my skirt hem just a little bit once I get my skirt at school. So I've done a little bit of sewing.
Harmony.
Well, they make the uniforms a little boring.
Rules for what you must wear at this place?
Well, they want everything to be pretty uniform so that everyone looks somewhat the same, so that you're not focused on your clothing so much as your education.
Sounds boring.
Which, that makes sense. The education is why you're there. It's the important part. But, we want to have a little
A
fun.
little flair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like your style.
We are, well, thanks.
And
Laurel-
also for ease of movement.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
that's true.
Like my outfit, sort of very flowy and could not be all strapped up.
Exactly.
Do you think
It's
you'll,
for safety, really.
Of course. Do you think you'll keep your uniform while you're out on this trips?
Well, yeah. And the coat that they give us has some magic to it, and it's a little extra protective. And and the pin lets other people know that I'm here on official Prismari business.
That's a good point.
So
Well,
you mess with me, you mess with the headmaster. Ultimately, I wouldn't want to do that.
Uniforms can be very useful. I found that it was a bit restrictive at Lorehold, so
And a terrible orange color.
yeah, they were encouraged but not mandatory. So
That's why I
quickly
didn't
let
go
go.
with
orange.
I like orange. You're all right.
That's why I didn't go to school.
Swap of them.
Yeah.
all fabric can be beautiful, but that was definitely hard to style. But
It really doesn't match my
skin tone.
pink
Mm.
skin tone
Yeah.
very well.
But very quickly, when I got out on the road, it was clear that wasn't necessary to. It also can intimidate people sometimes if you're associated with a certain institution, and people I was talking to and traveling around with were not necessarily inured to those who were part of an establishment, and I didn't want to cause offense. So, but if you can just stack things like this, and then
Tam, how long do you believe it will take to to make these
What-
robes.
What time is it now?
I believe
It's the evening, afternoon, evening.
it's like afternoon. I
Okay.
want to say.
I could probably.
I think we left the
Design this, make it work.
Yes, if we are Project Runwaying this,
Design?
and it just has to last as long as you're getting through to this endpoint, not necessarily the most detailed work, but I can probably whip them up if I work like rest of today and then maybe a bit in the morning.
Well, they're just cloaks, right?
Yeah.
Close
So it's
to
just
this.
it's cutting it out, kind of like sewing it all together, hemming it up.
Do we want to try to get into the sewers in the evening, at night, in the morning? I guess it.
Do we want to go at dusk?
If we can go if we want to go at dusk, I can work as quick as possible. So if you guys get started, I can slam them out.
Well, the question is, do we want to go when there's more or less activity of other members? Right?
Right.
If we
When
go
do
at
we think
night,
they'll have?
we don't know whether they will or won't be active.
Well, the last time that they sent out that man,
Mm-hmm.
he came at night.
They
So
brought him
maybe
in
they're
at
sending people out at night.
That's a good point.
I suppose we could keep watching while Tem works and see how it looks. If it looks like they're bringing more people in or have people patrolling.
You think we should perhaps go and stake out, watch the lighthouse perhaps from that other location?
Could you send Slink out?
I could, but I would not be able to see through their eyes until I'm quite close.
Oh.
But I could go with them and watch for a bit.
You seem pretty quiet. So
I'm usually pretty good at not being seen.
Well, if you want company, I'll come with you.
I think
Sure.
I can try to not be seen. I'm never small.
I'll try to help finish sewing
Yeah.
and
Well, unless you need more cuts. I just don't know.
That was great. Thank you.
Okay.
and you
We
will
should-
scout.
Possibly at the same time look into the sewer pipe entrance. Maybe just they could send Slink down that sewer and see if they can find a way.
Sure, yeah. Get a little scout before we head down ourselves.
Just
Mhm.
fact finding, no engagement until we're ready.
It's a good call.
Okay, let's do that.
And break.
Yeah.
So he kind of like splits off into little fragments. Splitting the party again. All right.
Name of the campaign.
Nope.
Actually, before we separate,
Yeah.
I pull Nik-Nak aside and ask Interconic if he can make me a poisoner's kit.
Oh. Speak Draconic. Oh, we have talked about this before. Yeah. Your accent's more on the dragon side, which is it's okay.
Oh well, I thought that's the proper way.
No,
It's called. It is called Draconic.
unfortunately, yes.
Oh.
But anyway, a poisoner's kit you want? Sledge, come on over here.
Kind of rolls over.
To the back thing. Let's see. And I'll like look through Sledge, yeah, for like a little doctor's poisoner kit bag or something. It's got some vials and stuff in there. Yeah.
Do you have a poisoner's kit?
I don't know.
Because if you don't, Sledge does not.
Right. Well, Sledge as my all-purpose tool
Yeah.
would be
If he
able
doesn't have
to
one, I'll
transform.
borrow
If Sledge as my all-purpose tool
Mhm.
would technically be able to.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Just looking for a different blend of poison.
Absolutely. Nik-Nak, give me an intelligence roll. Just D20 and your intelligence.
Sure. 15.
13. After a moment, kind of, Nik-Nak just disappears behind Sledge. You just see nuts and bolts and just random tools just kind of fly out from behind him. And Sledge rattles around a little bit before finally, kind of like spins Sledge around. The back is opened up, and it's kind of like a small like car trunk kind of opened up, and where it basically looks like a tiny mobile meth lab has been set up right inside this little like hedgehog creature. Definitely not like, not all the like tools that you've like seen before, but there's like enough things in there, and there's enough like, what is a spoon and a fork when a nail's put through them but a pair of tongs? It's sort of it's a poisoner's kit in the most kind of like generalized tone, but it would functionally work.
Poisoner's kit a la kobold.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it's worked for me.
Beggars can't be choosers.
What are you planning on making?
Poison.
I guess that was a dumb question.
Okay, so can I can take these.
Yeah, sure. Just
Start putting them in my bag, all the little pieces, and just give me something to do while we're checking it out.
Is this in the middle of camp?
Thanks.
I know you said you're speaking Draconic. but-
Yeah, I wouldn't have like hidden, like gone off to the side.
good luck.
Yeah.
Don't blow your fingers off.
Try not to.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah. Good luck with the deal.
Then we transition into Batman transition into the next scene. Remind me of who is staying in camp and working.
Camp.
10. Harmony. Basil, you stay? No, you're.
I'm gonna stay because I had to stick with Sledge on.
Are you staying in camp or heading out?
I'm going with Anara.
Gotcha. So Anara, Basil, and Zakkai.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. Amazing. Team Sneak. We're gonna go with you guys.
Sneaky spawn.
Where are you guys headed?
You said somewhere by the cliffs, right?
Perhaps first we'll check the
The lighthouse.
bluffs and the pipes that I saw the entrances are on the way up to where we camped.
Okay.
So I will lead the two of them in a roundabout way so that we don't get within like easy viewing distance of the lighthouse, but sort of back toward the city down where we got down to the kind of coastline and then along the coastline.
Yeah.
Sort of staying up against the cliffs and try and get closer to the entrances to the pipes that we saw earlier in the day.
Earlier you saw you were just kind of scanning the bluffs for anything, and then you did see them at the end. Now knowing where they are, you kind of follow your footsteps back, kind of take a long way around, and get to sort of there's the city here that kind of fizzles out into bluffs that eventually kind of grow into the large cliff with the lighthouse sitting on top of it. You're able to kind of at least get down to the actual shoreline. Lots of kind of rocks, not a sandy beach, just large kind of rocks that eventually just dissipate into the water. And you kind of get a much better, with the vantage point of the sheer bluffs that kind of like lead up to the lighthouse. Towards the end, maybe a good like 15 feet above the actual like surface of the ocean, there are large, maybe 10-foot wide pipes that kind of stick out of the base of that bluff. There's like a faint little trickle of like water that's kind of pouring out of them into the ocean. You see barred. Each pipe has bars on it, but there are two very large ones like right next to each other that kind of just spill out into the ocean.
And these are at like ground level now that we're down the bluff, or are they kind of up in the cliff?
Only kind of up a little bit, and you imagine that it would be either at level or even below sea level, depending on the tide and time of day.
Okay.
And you said this thing, it's like gated and barred.
Yeah.
How hard does it look to slit the ice open?
Um,
Carefully, of course.
Right. Give me an investigation check.
That's a solid 8.
8. You kind of go up to them. And
8 bars on it.
Yeah. They're pretty thick bars. You're not quite sure if you could cut through them or not.
How far apart are the bars? Is it something that like Nik-Naks could squeeze through? If I imagine how big Nik-Nak is, or are they like?
No, they're not like too terribly close. You imagine that the likes of Nik-Nak easily could get through. Even Basil, you, and Zakkai could all get through.
Okay.
Harmony could probably get through.
Too big.
Established.
Boobs and ass.
Yeah. It might be a tighter squeeze for Harmony, but she can make it through. The likes of Sledgehog and
I'm
Tim.
sorry, not sorry.
This is my lot in life. I always,
You do this to yourself.
I do this to myself.
I will summon Slink off my arm and instruct them to head along the right hand pipe as I look at it, and just I will stay connected to them until they get to the end of the range, which is I think 100 feet. And I'll just warn Zakkai that he won't be able to see or hear around while I focus on what Slim can't see.
Alright, we'll protect you.
You have some kind of like slurp into the pipe and kind of. I'm gonna have fun making up so many weird sound words for Slink.
This is that little
Just gooping along.
Yeah, just gooping along.
I love the goop.
Yeah.
So goopy.
So Slink is slurping and slurping their way down this like long pipe. You see it goes for about 35, 40 feet before it suddenly takes a sharp 90-degree angle up before it kind of like travels up for a while. Through their eyes, you can see that the long pipe that kind of extends upwards has several different pipes coming in from different locations, pouring kind of water in. You imagine a lot of them are on the right side, seeming to be coming from the city. But there are a couple that stick in and out that kind of dribble down. The pipe continues up for a good maybe like 40 feet before it like turns again and the sightline ends.
I'll have Slink head up to the top of the 40-foot rise and head along that for another 20 feet or so.
Alright. As they kind of gets up to the top there and creeps over the side, the pipe kind of continues for a short ways. You see there are a few other pipes leading in from other directions. These a bit larger, maybe a good like 5 feet in diameter, while the others that kind of poured in from the side were only a few feet, maybe.
Do I happen to remember from when we were down in the basement under the lighthouse how wide the diameter was of that pipe?
Similar, like it was a larger kind of 10-foot.
It was 10 foot. Okay, and these ones are like 5 feet.
But the large central kind of pipe continues for a short ways. And you see that it does eventually get to a T section and it kind of splits into two different directions.
Is it possible to tell from my sense of where we are on the beach versus where the lighthouse is, approximately which direction, or is it more like just a maze of tunnels? Pipe.
A little bit of both. Give me a perception check.
As me or as Slink?
As you. This is more mental mapping instead of like
It's a 17.
You're able to at least sort of reverse engineer kind of. You remember being like, oh, okay, we were in the lighthouse and then we went down so many feet and then that's where I saw the pipe and then now I've just gone up this many feet. You're just trying to like kind of do the mental map.
Yeah.
You're on par with you gauge that you're a bit too low to be at that pipe, but you're probably, if not far, around that same level with a large like vat, that kind of room that was just all kind of that teal liquid. You're around that level.
Okay. So lower than the first level of the basement.
Yes.
Okay. I don't want Slink to get lost, so I will telepathically call them back. Have them rejoin me, and then I'll snap out of my focus and say, I'm reasonably sure these pipes will link to the lighthouse if it is connected. But I wasn't able to confirm. Perhaps to the lower level where we were, if you may remember, the lower of the two levels underground.
Vaguely.
The big.
Nope. With all the blue stuff.
Big blue.
Yeah.
We were, and not too far away from the basement.
Should we map it out a little further? I think we could
Try to
all.
go ourselves, maybe?
I think we could fit through.
We could all probably get
Is
in.
that playing with a little too much fire here?
And then I could send Slink further in and perhaps try and locate the way in. I'm worried of I'd rather not approach too close, given that we don't have everyone.
Yeah,
Don't-
I think
don't
we
get
should. I think
caught.
we should wait. I think we've gotten in the right vicinity that we can come back with the
My
rest.
sense is that there's a way through.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. I said we go.
Recall swing.
Going through the maze.
Yeah. Perhaps then by to keep watch. on
Yeah.
them.
Understood.
How long does that about take for Anara to be like doing all of that? So like how long were we like in theory chilling for?
I would say a good like 20-30 minutes, really.
Okay.
Slink is small and moving relatively stealthily, I imagine.
Yes.
So, moving at a kind of stealthy pace, it will take a bit of time. Close to 30, 35, 40 minutes maximum. You're there. And at that point, during that time, Anara is kind of like blind, deaf, and dumb to everything else around you. So it's just you two. So, what's going on during that half-hour time?
Still kind of looking around, keeping watch. You know, I think orange is a great color, personally.
Me too. I got the scarf and I mean like carrots. That's two great things already.
Two great orange
I don't
things.
know what's wrong with orange.
Did you get the scarf because it reminds you of carrots, or do you just like orange separately?
It was kind of my blanket growing up, so I kind of like keep it around. So
It was your blanket?
Yeah. So it's a little scarf. It's from my little litter. So.
Well, that's the cutest thing I've ever heard.
And I mean it's orange, so duh.
So duh. Well, it works for you.
Yeah. So how? So she does this often with Slink. She
I haven't really seen Slink, but she's usually kind of like the scout between us. You know, she gets into little like corners and corridors and whatever.
I mean, I tried real hard to chase it. It was real tough. It gets around. So
She's fast herself too.
I mean, she's got those kiki legs. So I'm sure she's real fast. And you seem real agile yourself.
Yeah, I get around.
I guess smooth. That I'm just like looking at all my like hairy chest and like you're just like wait, cut.
Oiled for something.
Yeah, just like oil. It's like real smooth. Just like he looks shiny like
Never know
Slink
when you get
too.
through this box.
I was prepared for anything.
Just
Preemptively.
and dry at the same time.
Yeah, it's a dry oil.
Yeah. I'm just naturally, I don't like this, I don't know. But people like furry too.
Cold like that?
No, not really.
Yeah.
I don't get cold. No. Hoes don't get cold.
Did you say O's? Okay, O.
You know, the...
Also canon.
I mean, I know like we used to kind of like huddle together for warmth, so I guess like more body is more warmth. I guess that's how it is.
Are you cold?
No, I mean I evolved into this outfit, so I guess that's what you do too, right? You just huddle together
Yeah.
for warmth.
I huddle with a lot of different people for warmth. It's
Exactly.
very practical.
Right.
It's
Good instincts. Good instincts.
I'm a survivor. Do what I have to.
Smart.
Hey, don't go.
Sorry.
You're trying to concentrate. Okay,
Wait.
one more time.
You can't hear or see them, but you definitely feel poking. Just
ignore it.
you alright?
She acts really tough, but I think secretly she likes it. You should just every time she is concentrating like this, a little poke
Well,
as a reminder, like hey.
well, she said it was okay.
Yes.
Will I
You're
insult
right.
this? Yeah, I'll insult this. It's like, no, boy, this is not good.
18.
Sure.
Well done. Well
I
done.
guess she knows that she's around or she's safe, right?
Yeah,
This
it reminds her that we're still here watching her. It's a comfort thing for her.
is like, oh.
I'm ignoring it.
Alright. As best you can.
No good can come.
Stone cold. Team camp. The scouts are away for at least, it takes them a good 45 minutes just to get to where they're going, half an hour to scope out. Another half an hour to scope and get Slink back and then hike back. So you guys are on the road for a little while. Anything exceptionally lively happening at camp, or
helping
napping?
him.
Yeah, so I think
Having it hard.
Make sewing as exciting as possible.
well, it's kind of the opposite of that in a certain way. At least Tem really like you see before he starts, after like everything's kind of cut out and patterns are laid down and stuff. In his little like lean-to setup that he put together, he gets really quiet. Like lays out all of his like sewing tools and things like that. Takes off his little monocle, just polishes it up real quick. There. Takes a look at things, and like whispers under his breath just a little bit before Essie like picks up the first needle, and then it's like going to town. It's like there's no sewing machine, but he is like racing through these very like big hands, but super fine dexterous movements. As it's like big, almost like sweeping motion of boom right down the middle of that main seam to connect it into the tube for the robe, and then hemming, sleeve, and just kind of like very, you can tell like meditative work when it comes to this sort of thing. So he's not like silent, but it is much more like focused, especially since there's a time sort of aspect to this too.
I'd probably be like not slowly, but like, hemming one little thing at a time, and I kind of like look up, and you're just like, and then every time you kind of pause to do something new, I'm like, maybe gonna just like start, and then you kind of start doing the next thing. I'm and then I don't know what. Nik-Nak. What do you know about explosives? Where'd you learn just all your knowledge?
Oh, well, here and there. I mean, I grew up amongst a bunch of sort of tinkering kobolds, so, clearing out tunnels, sometimes you need a little bit of a boom. So, just picked it up naturally from my childhood.
Well, what do you think we could use instead if we needed a larger, more destructive distraction in the tunnels?
It's like eyes will like right now. Well, I don't have anything on me at the moment, but there's plenty of things that can be caustic or explosive. Obviously, blasting powder or alcohol, when mixed with fire, can be extremely effective. If we are able to get in there, I think it's possible that we could use the arcanium that's in there in a certain way, but again, I'm not sure if we have all of the supplies for that, but that.
Because that's the plan, right? I think we've got to take down the whole organization, blow up their base, kind of thing.
If we can't blow it up,
destroy their
machinery
evil
certainly needs
devices
to go away. That was terrifying to witness, and well, we don't know how far this organization reaches, but it may be a start, at least to disrupt whatever base they have here and see if we can stop their plans before they start, or if they already have, at least to mitigate some of the damage that they might do.
Yes, there's plenty of ways that we can sabotage their stuff. I mean, it's a lot of pipes. Pipes can be broken and bent, and obviously we're trying to get as much of the arcanium out of there as possible. I'm pretty sure everybody's on board with that.
We can't let them keep that.
No, it's obviously
secondary motive.
It's got to be the power cell. It's got to be the power cell for their entire, facility down there.
The more and more I think about it, the more it seems like this has clearly been in the works for a long time, and there's probably something much more sinister at work here. I can't help but shake the feeling that we may not know what we're messing with here, and so it does give me pause that eventually we may want to inform someone about this, but for the
That's what
time
I've been saying
being,
the whole time.
I know it's so hard because we don't want to arouse suspicion and then have something worse happen. It seems like we've charted a course where we need to follow through with this, but it's always in the back of my mind that there may need to be a conversation with some sort of authority about this.
Maybe if we learn anything else from the lighthouse, we take it to an even higher authority than just the Port Elsewhere constables.
Proof is necessary too, which could also be what we can gather here. You know, we have little
We could
bits
show
and
them
pieces.
some of the devices. We could show them
I
the
have-
Arcanium.
I have that book.
The devices, yeah.
I have the book. You know, but
the
we
sword.
need. But we need maybe something very concrete of.
We have some vials of
Yeah.
the substances
Yeah.
they've been making.
Maybe we could take one of them like corpses or something. Especially one that's been like transformed.
I don't want more innocent people to get hurt. It was so terrible to see that man and his ravings.
Yeah. We have to stop them before they do that to more people.
I'm hopeful that we can do as little collateral damage to people who may be wrapped up in this, not of their own will, as much as we can while we're in there. But
I don't know how much we can really reverse anything until we finish maybe an antidote.
that's true.
But
That
we
should
might
be.
still be a little ways away from that.
We still don't really know what we're dealing with.
We've only just kind of started working on that.
Maybe that's something we try and find out when we get down there. It's how it's made, with what it's made. And maybe we can turn the clock back on the process. That's possible.
We looked through most of the rooms and books and everything
Yeah.
already.
Their plans and schematics did not seem to indicate exactly what they were doing to the substance. And the machine that they had was clearly set up for some sort of experimentation, but there was not much detail on how.
Why do you think they want this nest?
It must have something to do with this transformation process that they're trying to achieve. And the other aspect that we touched on was some sort of portal, some sort of conduit. It really seems like there is a lot bigger things at stake here, and if this is related to the history of the world, clearly this book that they had annotated is a lot of information and myths about Terragia, Elberin, the places that we live that have myths attached to them, titans, gods. It is very grandiose ideas, and they clearly think that whatever is in this box might help them achieve that.
Speaking of which, we've been keeping the nest inside of Sledge. Do you think maybe it'd be safer, especially before we go into the lighthouse, if maybe we bury it or hide it somewhere out here? Otherwise, we risk the chance of bringing it right back to them.
I thought about that earlier, but they do have scouts looking out, and they have at least some access to scrolls that can locate objects, so...
But if we're pretty far out in kind of random middle of the woods, they still have to be somewhat close to try to use magic to find it. Maybe they wouldn't really think there's any reason to look around this area anyways.
That's true.
I feel
They've
as
been
if
looking in the city.
I feel as if we have Sledge and it with us, that at least gives the opportunity for us to defend it if something happens, rather than leave it unattended.
As much as I don't want it inside him, but he's right, we could still defend it.
But hopefully it doesn't come to that, and they find a way in that is unassuming, stealthy. We can get in, see what we're up against,
Blow it all up. and
blow
leave.
it all up, and Tim goes,
Perfect.
yes. Well,
That's what Ted actually does.
yes, yeah.
Water, no.
A bit of sputtering, yes.
I just need 2 miles away.
But
Maybe she doesn't like that.
that's lovely work that you're doing there. Thank you for helping me. If you can make sure that you double back right on that helm there, just to make sure that nothing comes loose, and then I'll keep working on
I
this one
shorten
right
it a
here.
little more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's Basil's. So you gotta make sure that if he's hopping around, he's not gonna trip on the bottom of it. So.
And I know Zakkai's gonna hate this, but I'm still leaving the sleeves on his.
We have to look consistent,
I know.
unfortunately.
We
He's
can't
not gonna
alter
like
it. It has to all happen. You might even have to wear a shirt. You can be the one to break that to him.
He will understand, I'm sure.
Well, good luck with you two. I'm gonna go do like a perimeter check or something.
We just circled around our camp, constantly looking for maybe if anyone's spotted where we went.
Sledgehog kind of balls up and is following you the whole way. Give me a perception check real quick.
18.
And then I think while we're working, I'll just start speaking to you in Primordial.
Okay.
Because I have the sword, so I can
Yeah.
speak. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
speak it.
Yeah.
So we'll just be like
Conversation.
practicing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Conjugating verbs.
Tam is
Yeah.
thrilled actually because he is such a language nerd that it is fantastic to like it, especially since we're going to be going into this area where people will most likely that'll be the lingua franca. So it's
Mhm. And it's especially strange because I know that I don't actually know Primordial, but then when I think about wanting to speak in Primordial, it still comes out mostly the right way.
That's so fascinating. What this is?
It's from the sword.
The sword. I want to do some sort of research on that enchantment because that would be game changing in terms of communication. I mean, I know there are magics out there that let people speak in different tongues, but to have something that is a permanent buff to your processing of language is something that could be extremely useful, especially when talking to people of other nations and cultures.
And right now, the sword gives me the ability to speak and understand it, but I can't read it through the sword. So maybe you could at some point alter it so I could also read it.
Well, let me show you some just basic, and I'll do like the ABCs of Primordial just so that you're like familiar.
And I'm kind of like
yeah.
I'm like trying really hard, but I'm also just like, there's no like pattern that I can really, I'm like, I would just have to memorize the symbols because there's no like logical pattern to it. And I'm just like, okay, I would have to really study that for a bit. The spell I know would just probably be easier, but it's good to know,
At
it's
least
good to actually learn it.
familiarity.
You want to know why you're learning something and not just remember the answer, because then you can't apply that knowledge to something else, right? Well, anyways. And
It's just fully intelligible, growling at each other.
Like all the nerds are nerdy. And you're kind of going on a check. You get just Nik-Nak, you are incredibly intelligent in a very different way. At this point, when they start talking about when the conversation starts going into theory or things like that, it's exhausting. You go off on your kind of scout check. As you're doing a perimeter check, you kind of wander a bit far outside the camp area, kind of getting more towards the lighthouse when you see something, and you get just behind the like a fallen branch, just enough to kind of like hide yourself, and immediately Sledgehog rolls behind a tree and remains still. You see like a flash of yellow, just not too far away, maybe a good 50, 60 feet through the trees. And you see two figures in yellow robes moving away from you, moving through the trees, and based on the direction that you know the lighthouse is and the city is, there's a good chance that these people have come from the city and are kind of moving up into the lighthouse area. They just happen to be kind of taking a roundabout way where it kind of pokes a little bit into your guys' perimeter. But they seem to just be heading towards the lighthouse.
Do they look familiar at all? Can I see their faces?
Make a perception. 12. You don't really get a good look at. You see them. You see that there's one person who is clearly a humanoid, just regular standard humanoid, very pale, kind of skin. You see just a flash of like a scar on a cheek. Looks like a typical like longshoreman who probably works at the docks here or elsewhere. The other is an Aarakocra, kind of bird person. You can tell because the feathers kind of stick out from beneath the robe. But you don't recognize either of them. They just look like two citizens, average people.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll continue to watch them from my vantage point and just see what happens.
You watch that, and they do seem to be heading. They're chatting to each other a bit too far for you to hear, but you can hear like the faint like conversation as they kind of like are just moving towards the lighthouse. Eventually, they sort of dip behind a tree and vanish from your view.
Okay. If I'm well hidden enough, I'll stick around here for a little bit until I feel confident enough to just go back.
Okay. After a good like 10-15 minutes, at least at that point, still no sign of anyone else. Just those two that you caught up moments of.
Okay. Then I'll go back and tell Harmony and Tem what I saw.
In the middle of working and deep in conversation about why this shape just like a big brass spear kind of barrels into the camp, kind of comes to a quick stop and kind of pops open, and then a kobold tumbles out of that. That's kind of like Nik-Nak arrives back at camp.
There was at least two of them. I just saw them.
Cultists?
Are they heading this way?
No, they got close, but they went sort of veered toward the lighthouse.
I don't know. Hopefully the others aren't in plain view. I mean,
Do we have any way to get a message to them?
But that's a
them
good
know?
point. When they were moving, would they have moved to a point that I would have remembered would have been within view of the sewers?
You wicked snack.
So
Yeah.
much.
Well, I mean, it's not so much. I know where the sewers is, and if I know that they're going, I would know from where they walk.
Yeah. Seven structures.
Yeah.
I
Basic trajectory.
these two that you just saw, at least the route that they have taken is nowhere close enough to the bust.
Right.
of
Okay.
sea.
Yeah. All right. So I'll tell them that.
Okay.
But there's at least two.
but did they,
I guess that's okay.
like, they were on the lookout for something, or?
They just seemed to be talking to each other. There was an Aarakocra and some sort of regular human sort of thing.
Interesting. Well,
I guess that's okay. It's expected that people would be kind of coming and going, so as long as they're not heading this way and it doesn't seem like they were heading right towards our friends, then
but it may confirm that they are more active in the evening and night hours when people may be coming and going.
okay.
Well, hopefully they are not seen, and then when our friends come back, they will also avoid peeping eyes.
Speaking of, Anara, Zakkai, and Basil, once you're done scouting the sewer system, are you heading back to camp? Where are you going?
No, I think we were gonna watch the lighthouse at least for a little while to see if we could tell how much activity it would
We
be
had
at
that
night.
when we first approached the lighthouse. We found that sparked
Mm.
within view of
That
it.
first
Yeah, it's
from
kind of
above.
up the
It was a ways away.
Mm.
So I think we want to make our way back to there
yeah.
and restore ourselves hidden there where we can, at least one of us can keep eyes on
Mhm.
the lighthouse. Tem said he'd probably be able to have the robes done sort of by dusk.
Yeah.
So we want to maybe head back to the camp a little before
Yeah.
dusk. So we'll spend most of the next few hours with at least one of us keeping an eye on the road
It's,
from a hidden location.
Yeah.
it starts to dip into late afternoon a little bit. Either one of you can make a perception check with advantage, or you can make a group perception check. Each one of you try to make one.
Grouping?
How's everyone's perception? Mine's high.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's alright.
It's just all roll.
That's all. Fun. 14.
14.
14.
Four. With the natural one.
Eagle eye.
I got distracted.
Good job, team.
3.
I was distracted because I also wanted Zakkai to be fiddling with the poisoner's kit. and using the materials I just bought.
You're kind of like fiddling with things and kind of like making basically trying to like deduce what the tools are. You're like, okay, Nik-Nak said this was a thing, and you kind of like hold it up, and you're not quite sure. Kind of a little bit like aerial, kind of define a dingle hopper a little bit.
Yeah.
What is this supposed
Yeah.
to be?
Very that.
As you're kind of doing that, you feel like fingers on the back of your head as Anara kind of turns your head as you see. No worries, you're okay. Anara, you're the first to spot kind of up that same pathway that you saw the original woman and
leading the
van.
the victim. Yeah.
Kurt.
Became
Yes.
a new
Kurt.
partner.
Yeah.
Um, so coming up the same direction that she.
Coming up that same pathway towards the lighthouse, you see a small group, maybe 10 or so people in yellow robes, kind of like moving their way up towards the chatting amongst themselves as they kind of like.
So I've grabbed
The dinner crew.
Eat
Yeah.
yourself.
and we'll collect them forward. We'll say hello. And then
Yeah, I'll get you.
You see a group about 10 of them kind of like,
all in robes.
all in rooms, all kind of like chatting with one another as they kind of like, you seem to be excited as they kind of like come up the hill and towards the top of the lighthouse.
Carrying anything or
No?
About how far away is it? I said.
From you guys, you're a good like 80, 90 feet from them, but you can see them. They're as a group, they're kind of hard to miss, especially dressed as they are and kind of all bunched together. It's again like late afternoon, early evening now. Sun is starting to dip down, so they're kind of like moving between like the shadows of the trees, heading up, and are now heading right up to that lighthouse.
I guess I shouldn't really whisper.
but we are speaking very quietly.
Yes, we're speaking very quietly. Should we try to sneak away? Is there any danger of them coming up? I mean, probably not, right?
Looks like they're heading to
The lighthouse.
But
It's a lot of people.
when we interviewed the one who was spying on us or trying to find the hand yesterday, I recall him saying there were 8 more cultists that he saw while he was there. So
they made
this is quite a lot of group, a larger group than.
Who knows how many more might be inside?
So what do we do? Do we run and hide or?
Perhaps head back to the main group.
Yeah, once they enter the lighthouse,
Let
I think
them,
we.
once we see them go inside.
So we'll sit tight till then.
The group kind of stays outside, right outside that main door, for a few minutes before eventually you see the door kind of like crack open, and you see that there's another person inside. Maybe like late 50s dwarvish man kind of like pops the door open before that kind of waving them inside, and all 10 of them slowly just kind of single file into the door before eventually the door kind of looks out, peeks around.
Alright, let's go.
Let's scurry away.
We'll start heading back toward camp.
Both. Anara, with your passive perception, as you're kind of like heading out of the hiding spot back towards camp, you should sort of, out of curiosity, pass like a glance back over your shoulder. You see far down that road another 3 people in those rows kind of heading up the path. Much farther away, but again, from this distance and wearing what they're wearing and with your vantage point, you can see them.
I'll quickly alert Basil and Zakkai. It's not just 10 there. A few more heading in the same direction. It's going to be quite a big group.
Yeah. Are we sure about trying to sneak in right now?
These 3 we can take. No. Okay. You're right. You're right.
No,
You're right.
If they're expecting 3 more,
Yeah. Bad idea.
but
Right?
we don't have the disguise.
Oh.
They currently do.
I don't know.
Should we?
How close are they to the lighthouse?
Someone needs a message.
Eventually, I'll have access to something.
Are they in view of the lighthouse?
I mean, they are in view of the lighthouse, but they're they you can imagine they can see the tip of the lighthouse as they're kind of looking at up their vantage point is looking up the hill at the lighthouse. The hill and the vantage point kind of only give them a top little bit in view of the very top third of the lighthouse.
If we attack, we never looked at the top of the lighthouse. They may have a lookout.
Yeah. Yeah, we should get back to the others.
We should go
anyway.
back.
You're right.
Yeah.
Just tempting.
Very tempting. Any opportunity to take out more of these guys, I would love to take.
Chance to cut a few corners, I guess. Save some work, I guess. But you're right. Safety.
Yeah, we'll head back.
Yeah.
As finally the kind of sun dips down, the sky goes from blue to orange to pink to purple, and it's
What I am going to do is, I'm going to have
I know, right?
Slink. I will instruct Slink to slide off my arm and basically slither down to an area kind of on the road near where the lighthouse entrance is, and just make themselves into just a mark on a rock, like a puddle or a stain or something, so they're completely still, and instruct them to count everyone in and everyone out
oh, okay.
of the door,
Yeah.
and then we'll be back.
Slink slurps their way down the hill towards that path.
Yeah.
Not
Just anywhere close, just within, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 feet of the entrance, but just and have them look just as if they're like a stain on, just a...
Especially in their kind of squid form, they kind of spread out their little legs and flatten, and it just looks like someone just dropped a bottle of ink and this splatter is left.
Exactly. Cool. And have them just monitor, and then when we get back, we can get a report on what they remember.
Excellent.
They're not always very smart. They'll do their best. Then we'll head back.
As the dusk has begun, you kind of eventually, three of you get back to camp. The Nik-Nak first, and again the rest of you that are working it kind of hear the approach, but again recognize allies when you hear them.
How'd it go?
Hey, yeah, just finishing up these last little bits here now. Hopefully this will all work.
Bit of an issue. There's a lot of these cultists entering the lighthouse. We saw a group of 10 and then 3 more.
10?
10.
And then 3 more.
And then 3 more.
When we talked to the individual we saw this morning, I recall him saying there were 8 further people that he saw when he was there for his visit. There's at least 13. Another one who let them in.
Yeah, dwarf fellow.
Did you happen to get a good look at their eyes?
One
You're
was a
kind of far
dwarf.
away.
It was too far to see much detail.
I'm just wondering if maybe they haven't taken the substance yet.
Yeah, we could save them. You know?
Well, yeah. It just, those poor people. If they're there voluntarily or not, I'm sure terrible things are gonna happen.
All the good people
left
will do bad
Slink
things.
in a spot where they can observe comings and goings into the lighthouse.
But the good news is we did check out the sewer, and
You think there's a way in?
I think I can cut them.
most of us could fit through the bars, but we might have
Who?
Well, my friend.
Yeah, time as staring at you, one eyebrow goes up. Who?
Just think your ears might be a little,
He flattens them against his side.
Wait.
Will that fix it?
My friend, you're a Loxodon.
I'm sure that we can figure out a way to
And
get.
or break.
I'm not
Pass
unaware
the
of my
ball.
sides. We'll
And
figure it
we
out.
believe that
Yeah.
they link. We think.
Do you
to
think
the
we could have a way to get in and avoid having to confront minimum 15 people, just enough to sabotage their equipment,
Well,
maybe destroy their research?
the benefit of there being more people in there is that a handful more may not seem as suspicious. If there were only 5 people there and then 6 more show up, that raises an eyebrow. But if it is a meeting night or something happening where a large amount of them are gathering, we may go a little bit more unnoticed if we keep a low profile.
Maybe
Full
it's
forward.
someone's birthday and they're having a little banquet to celebrate.
Wait, people do this?
So that's fun.
You've never had a birthday party?
we
That's not
could.
a really tradition where I'm from.
Do you have cake?
What are your coming of age traditions?
No carrot
We'll
cake?
get into it later. We'll get into it later.
No
I-
cake.
Wait, there's no carrot cake for your birthday?
I was just going to say, I think
So
that
my
is a
friend.
good
I wanna make you a
idea.
carrot
I would love a carrot cake.
The more that
I
there,
tried
the more we might
Blend in.
blend.
Yeah.
Well,
If we do end up confronting them, perhaps we can find them in smaller groups.
what would be the most important things to destroy? We know where their library rooms were. We could destroy, as much as I hate to destroy books, I think in this case it would be to everyone's benefit to destroy their research notes and any research they've done so far. We could pretty easily set that on fire, at least.
We could try and contaminate their store of the lifeblood. Maybe if Nik-Nak or Zakkai or someone who has
This
some
power source.
something
Yeah,
to
if Nik-Nak
Destroy
saw
it.
anything Arcanian makes a big boom.
Yeah.
Blow up the
We could-
Arcanium?
We could.
Yeah.
But
Not a
we
bad
could just
idea.
as easily like pee in like the vats of the
Well,
fluid.
that's not
Arcane-
what I meant by contamination,
All
but
of
I
it.
guess that
We
works.
don't-
the only
That
thing
works,
strong
I
enough
guess.
to affect it, so it might be a good point.
We don't have to
So
destroy
we
it
all
all.
pee in it at the same time?
No, the Arcanium, but we could try the pee thing
Pee on the
first.
Arcanium? Wait, what?
I've never actually done that. Something might happen. I'm not
It's
sure.
like when you pee on the third rail of a the electricity arcs back up.
On the scarlet rail? I think we did that before we trained.
Our
We
plans
can
are
try the
just
pee
wild.
thing.
Last resort. What?
Some form of contamination would be great. Not saying it has to be urine.
But it doesn't stop the problem for all time.
They can probably make more. So what we can do is try and attack it from the source, as well as whatever supply they have now. Doing whatever we can to stop this in its tracks, so that we can get the proper procedure of dealing with the entire organization, whether that be approaching someone who may have more information or an organization that may be able to help. But right now, it seems like they have a large amount of resources that we should try and reduce.
In my experience, organizations have leaders and followers.
Well,
If we can find
this
the
Pontifex,
leader,
We
the
know the
Pontifex,
Pontifex and that other woman
the woman,
that person should be
with
on
the
top.
staff.
Like
Yeah.
a king and a queen sort of
Those-
thing?
We may need
Those
only
two,
to
Maybe they could be co-leaders.
kill them.
well,
Yeah.
there was the
The
Pontifex.
others maybe.
When we explored, there was the Pontifex's chamber, and then am I wrong in that one room that had the sword and the whole contraption? Was there something past that? Were there like stairs leading further down? I can't remember.
No.
No, okay, alright.
We
There's just a single chamber.
It is
looked
the same
through
chamber.
most of the
Yeah.
in that one go around. We went through most of the
There was
rooms,
one
right?
area where
We heard voices on the other side, right?
Yeah.
we were
Yeah.
going down was on the other side of the main chamber.
Uh-huh.
Steps
The
leading
steps
up.
up,
Mhm.
back
Right.
to the
And we heard
first
multiple
level
voices.
below ground.
Oh, that's
Heard
where
voices
but there
back
were
up
also
somewhere.
more steps
And-
down, right? Or no? I can't remember.
There was that was up to the level that we did not
Yeah.
really.
So we
explore
went
very
back the
much.
way we had come originally.
Yes.
There was a whole level above that we only saw a fraction of.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, so that was a whole nother basement level.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
we took
it
the
was still
dumbwaiter
below,
down
all the way
further.
down,
To,
yeah.
So there was like lighthouse,
Two locked
first
rooms
level with like
Mhm.
Pontifex.
with
Nope.
doors, Yeah.
Pontifex is
It
at
was
the bottom.
lower, yeah.
There was the first level with the stairs that went up, the stairs that
Yeah,
went
we
down,
barely-
and the writer's office. The writer's office, we went down the chute into that storage area that had the dumbwaiter that went down to the
Second.
We barely explored the first level below.
Or the
That's
top,
true.
or the top of the lighthouse too.
Yes.
Also that, yeah.
There's a lot of unknowns in this equation, but we do know that huge pool of the lifeblood.
Yeah.
Nothing good's gonna come of that.
Absolutely
We
not.
should try to contaminate that.
And deal with the Arcanium. Those two we
Set
know.
their research on fire. Sorry.
Yeah. That,
And
and that's
any
all
other,
in that same area.
and then try to at least disconnect somewhere on the spectrum of disconnect / blow up the Arcanium. Something in there.
So we want
That's
to
back to that spectrum.
Yeah.
Well, it was
Is
how
it
big
a
was the
certain
block
box
again?
It was huge.
It was
Big block.
15 feet
I
tall.
can-
or
Yeah,
something?
big carriage.
It was
I
like a
could-
boulder.
I could get
It
it.
was like
I could get it.
Not just a rock.
I don't need all of it necessarily.
We'll take a little
Well, how
for research.
Do you have the
Yeah.
tools
We
to be able
explode the
to,
rest.
On
break
the-
off?
Would I know if you can chip away at Arcane or if
on
it's
the
more like
gemological
diamonds?
hardness scale?
Yeah.
The most hard.
they
The most hardness scale.
How hard is it?
Oh, that's actually good. 22.
Arcanium in its kind of like raw, natural states can be, resized, chipped away, and kind of like cut down. It is risky and unpredictable. However, it can be done. If people have to do it. It's sort of like the high risk kind of like job that comes with like mining Arcanium.
Yeah.
Is that like finding it is already difficult enough. Harvesting it is another kind of like tricky task, which again can be done. You would know that with time and precision can be done without issue. In a rush or without precision, it could just like break apart, or it could trigger some wild magic surge, and you don't know.
Is it best to destroy it?
It's risky messing with it in that form. If we had time, which I don't know if we do, we could dismantle it piece by piece, but
It's too big for us to move.
maybe we don't focus on the Arcanium and we focus on what's attached to it.
Okay. That makes sense.
And the leaders.
And
Yeah.
the leaders. Yeah. If we can take them.
I forget, in the Arcanium room, did it seem like it was attached to like machinery or anything? It was like in the middle of a room, like a pretty large room. There was
There's
pipes.
stuff around it. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was like on
It
like
was,
a mechanical.
yeah, it was hooked up.
It was like inserted basically into a large kind of like think out. It was basically a battery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it was being like held in place, and
There's kind of wire type of stuff like going different directions from it, essentially. So maybe at the very least we go in and cut all those wires, try to disconnect it from anything useful, destroy the research if we can.
At the very least, it'll push them back from whatever they're working on until we can do more damage.
I did also want to just throw it out there. We do have the nest. And they were willing to open it. So it might not immediately cause harm to whoever opens it, and it might give us a little bit more knowledge about what we're dealing with.
But the one man that we saw in the Pontifex room, he willingly drank the lifeblood, even though he knew it would turn him into a monster irreversibly. I don't know if
Did he really know that?
Well, I do think
I
these
think
people
so.
are very dangerous and willing to do whatever it takes to get their accomplished goal.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're willing to sacrifice themselves in order to achieve their ends.
So we don't.
they're all very zealous. I
would say
All right.
don't think they care about the consequences
it's like a
of
bad
opening
apple.
it.
As we're piecing together more of what this could be, whether it's a portal, something very powerful magic, it does seem like we need caution and a little bit more information before we open this up. It could be disastrous.
All right. We'll leave it. So what are we doing? If we want to save those people.
Well, I have these if they are of any use. I don't know if we are still planning to infiltrate, and then I pass them out. I've sewn everyone's name tag.
Do you think the
You know
name
what?
tags are smart? Just in
They're
code
code names. They are code names.
Oh.
we'll get into
yes,
that.
okay. So this is my improv skills.
I've got Scholar for Harmony. Zakkai's is Sand. We have Fluff for Basil. We've got I think I would say Zen for Anara, and then we have Chaos for Nik-Nak. Chaos with a K.
Yes. And then she kind of like Tem is like handing out the robes, and then she gets to basically a doll-sized kind of mini robe that like drops down for you.
Can I just ask, in the time that we were at the lookout place watching the thing, were we there for long enough for me to have rested?
Oh, like a short rest? I would say so. It's not like you did any strenuous.
It wouldn't be a long rest, but
short rest?
because we were doing stuff the whole time.
You were short resting while you were slinking. Is what you're saying?
No, afterwards when we were waiting, staking up the place,
Sure.
we had some time there.
Yeah. And either of you would also want to take a short rest, or more than one.
Yeah.
So should we, I guess, go in through the sewers and try to see where it leads us? And we do know the layout, at least of the one level that we're trying to get to, so
Yeah, so I
maybe
wasn't able to find a direct link to any place familiar, but the pipes do go under the lighthouse. So I think we can find a way in, even if it is not the pipe that we saw on the first layer below ground.
could even be better. What if we end up in pipes that run on atop the ceiling of what we're trying to destroy, and then we just have to crawl through, the vents, set a few books on fire, and then just escape back the way we came. It could even be better, maybe, hopefully.
I think that's the plan.
Yeah. I say we get going.
Yeah.
No time to waste.
Yeah.
We will.
It can't be good if they're all gathered.
Head back to
It's probably
the
not.
bluff.
Yeah.
Via
I made yours extra
stealthily
coverage
via where that's
for, more support.
so I don't think everyone
Support
should be
Full coverage.
I'm like, mine doesn't even open the front.
How far
It's fully
out of the
sunlit.
way was that compared to going directly to the bluffs? Back to
It comes up to you.
Heading all the way down to the bus will be
Calendar,
much
yeah.
longer trip than going straight to the lighthouse.
Right.
Lighthouse will
Like a
take
cardinal.
you maybe half an hour's walk, and heading down to the bluffs would be a good hour.
Tatsu.
So I just want to go close enough to where we left Sling to be able to summon them to join me, and then head to the bluffs, so I can get a report on anything they remember.
As you kind of take a small detour to get just close enough, and then wait a few moments, and then through the dark you kind of hear the brush of leaves kind of rustling. As at first, in any other scenario, it would be terrifying to see just leaves and twigs and brush moving in the dark, and then a giant blob of living goo just launch itself out. But you all know this blob of goo, so as it gloops, there you go, there's a new one, kind of out of the brush back onto yourself. It sort of leaves behind a little number on your arm, 43, before it kind of fades into the rest.
43 total people. There's
We
a lot
got
of
it.
cultists.
That's how
in
many
that.
how many of them are in there right now?
2 score at least.
Sounds like a ball house.
Well, we might have them all
In one place
in one place. That's good.
for an explosion.
I wonder if something's
It-
happening if they're all in one place tonight.
Oh,
Perhaps we
something
can just smash
big,
things
something
out.
bad.
Maybe
The roads.
maybe
may
we
have to
should
find out
change
what's going
the
on.
plan a little bit.
This could be our chance to get answers,
Yeah.
though, if we get in there and they're planning something.
I
If
think
the
so.
whole group is there,
It does seem like a big night.
we don't necessarily need to fight. This could just be
get in
answers.
and
We have to be
Find
very
out.
careful. If they catch us at all, there's not even going to be much chance of a fight. I think
Yeah.
they'll just have
Overpower
us.
us. Yeah.
But if we can somehow, I know you maybe wanted to try to get some of the arcanium, but if it is a volatile substance, and we just want to do the quickest, easiest solution, maybe we just sneak close enough to find a way to set it off and just take out the whole base at once.
Maybe some trucks will fly off. You get that?
That might be our best course of action.
I don't know if we'll be able.
So it's a plan. It's
Pretty
plan.
risky if we try to sneak to a few different locations, and we won't be able to take out the leaders. I'm sure they're leading this meeting.
But in disguise, into the sewers, there is a chance we find out much more.
Mm-hmm.
If we can join this gathering,
If we
there weren't remotely 200 people when we were there last time.
and if we can use Slink to really keep an eye ahead of us,
They're good at
if
that.
you're close enough, you could probably overhear some useful things through Slink too.
Quite possibly.
So we still might pick up some information, but I think we should try to stay as far away as possible and do as much damage from there as we can.
Well, we better go now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Time's wasting.
We'll head
Yeah.
to the
Cloak
club.
up.
Yeah.
To it?
Yeah.
Cloak up and head to
Are
the
they like
supermarkets?
full hooded clothes, like they come down to like kind of above, like, you know, like monk's robes that can be very like over the face?
Absolutely, they're
Okay.
like full, like
Yeah.
kind of to the floor, to the
Yeah.
feet,
Yeah.
kind of robes. And these doesn't seem to be anything to their uniform or wardrobe other than the robe.
Mhm.
They all seem to be wearing different levels of whatever underneath.
Uh-huh.
But it did seem to be fairly uniform in terms of they all had the same kind of cut, same kind of like tall hood, and then the hoods are a bit tall. They have like a bit of a point.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, they're all pretty uniform.
Uh-huh.
I have room for my ears. Thank you.
Yeah, Tom's ears go back and fold up into it too, and it's
so
like
itchy.
trunk kind of like, and so it's not sticking out the bottom, just kind of like up and wrapped around his neck.
Scarf.
Yeah, scarf trunk.
I will say you do have 2 large tusks. at
That's true. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll try and like.
That's okay. They had
Yeah.
all kinds.
Yeah, we saw Eric
The
Kokra,
cult
right?
accepts all
So
kinds.
yeah, it's not. It didn't seem like just humans.
I'll go to
Okay.
them.
You know, there's always a silver lining. They're very accepting of all kinds of people.
Yeah.
Anyone,
All kinds of people
anyone
can do
can join
terrible
their cult.
things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go. Head toward the
Okay.
sewer entrance at the bluffs.
Takes a little bit to get there, but eventually kind of working your way down, carefully trying to like step over these cliffs, and you notice at this hour the water has risen a little bit to the point where the ocean is like on par, if not a few feet above the base lip of the piping. So it's almost like at sea level now as the water kind of splashes up against it.
Can I tell if the tide is still coming in?
At this point, it seems pretty stable. Yeah. Whatever the tide has come in, it has come in basically at dusk at the same time.
So it
So
doesn't
it's
feel
at
like
its
it's
highest
It's
now.
at its highest.
okay, which was like what was it, like a couple
Yeah.
200
Yeah, it's
past
like-
the.
Yeah, at the bottom. So
Yeah, it's-
And I was like,
Splash.
is there
Yeah.
algae at the top of the pipe? Like,
Okay.
Yeah, good.
Do we break it?
oh yeah. Well, the
Fluffs, you suggested maybe using the caustic substance to.
that was the
Eco.
ooze, right? The teal ooze is caustic,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe if we
Spread
just,
a bit on.
Is there
if we just put
a
on one bar, it's probably-
handle? Is it just all welded on all the way around, or is
Yeah.
there?
There's no like door or surface entries. They're just welded.
Yeah, if you could,
Well,
we can.
Do you think you can get through if we got one of the bars gone to like double the width of the space?
Size myself up to it.
Yeah.
Like,
What are
make
the?
myself as like thin and crouched down as possible.
How many bars would we
Yeah.
have to remove
Yeah.
to get
Everybody.
10 through?
To get 10 through at a squeeze, you have to remove 2 side-by-side bars.
Okay.
So that would get
enough.
sledge into.
Sledge would get it.
So
Not the
four
same.
4 points for the
Mhm.
for the acid then,
Yeah.
if we have enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
At
have
least
one bar
have a couple.
of
Yeah.
thick stuff.
Yeah. I think that
Okay.
was,
Start-
it was.
start
I think
one.
that was the one that I gave
Yeah.
her.
Yeah. So
I'll help
Yeah, we'll pour a little bit of the
on the top,
On the top
like,
and
and then the
bottom.
can
bottom.
I look at the bars to try to find like the two next to each other that look the weakest.
Yeah,
like if they're rusty or
I was gonna
anything.
say, can I help with that with like
Yeah.
my smith's tools?
Yeah, make an investigation check and roll with advantage.
Dirty 20.
There's 20. Yeah, it's pretty easy for you to kind of get it up close to, especially with Nik-Nak helping you be able to kind of like just. You were doing a more kind of like, oh, okay, this looks like here. Meanwhile, Nik-Nak scurried up and just, hits it.
Yeah, a little. I take out my tuning fork and like. Okay, this one. And like scratch some rust off and stuff. Let's try these two. Right here, and here, and here, and here.
Drop a little bit of the liquid on the metal and see if it does anything like acidic.
It's at first it doesn't seem like it, but after a few seconds, there's a faint kind of sizzle that starts to come up and a little trail of steam that kind of rises off the bars. You see that the amount in the vial may not be enough to melt through the bars, but you do see that it's starting to kind of eat away at it, and it's significantly weakening the structure.
Divide what I don't know how much we have. We have the one vial of the thick stuff.
Yeah, that is the one that I thought I had given to you.
Yes,
So I don't know
yeah.
if we have any more of the thick stuff. I think it's just the one.
Yeah, the
I
rest
think
of
we
it's
just
the
have
thick
one.
stuff. So I'll divide that. I'll just even amounts on each of the 4
Points.
points.
Yeah.
So the top and the bottom.
Yeah, because we're not covering the whole bars, just enough
Yeah,
to
yeah.
like separate.
But yeah, putting it on just enough at the weak points, it starts to eat away at it and eventually kind of eats through the bars just enough to kind of, you imagine, would certainly weaken it more than they would have been before. But it's not enough to eat it completely through.
Basil?
Ups.
Let's and then before I would say before you like
Wait,
start swinging,
stealthily.
wait, and wrap your scissor in fabric.
Oh, okay. Right. Then just kind of go in and just like pry it open and like can opener it.
Yeah, just like
Nice.
leverage.
Yeah. Make an athletics check for me, Basil.
Hey, that's a natural 20.
Yeah. Excellent.
Nice.
I mean,
Good at the cutting.
Basil, you do
The barf.
what you do best,
Strong.
which is just use the giant pair of scissors to kind of just get in there and make just enough destruction to benefit you. And just kind of eventually pop,
Told you I could cut it.
and those 2 bars kind of fall out and splash into the ocean.
I meant like cut it and then it falls like perfectly in frame of on either side.
Yeah, you Charlie Chaplin it.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it falls around you.
Yep.
Great. Oh, well done.
I think I can
Okay.
fit through that. Yeah.
Okay, let's go. I'll
So
start
it's
heading
about
to the
40 feet, and then it goes up another 40 feet, and then along, and that's as far as I go.
Is it dark?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
There are no
Alright.
light sources.
Okay.
Is
So
there
those
a-
without dark vision can't see more than like a few feet.
I'll magical tinker one of my like pitons that I have and make it shed light and give it to Tim.
Sure. No, I can't see in the dark. So.
is there a ladder or anything on the pipe?
There were pipes that you could grab onto, I think. I couldn't see completely up there.
Well, we'll find you when we get
Yes.
there.
It's just like gym class, right? You just
Yes.
it's like just a climbing drill exercise.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly like that.
You
Just
have rope?
I did, but
No more.
yeah.
I have a rope.
Because I can climb.
Oh, I've got rope. I just don't have the special rope.
I can climb up this rope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just so we're all
Yeah.
clear.
I will say that with all the mention of climbing, you do see that Sledgehog like shrinks down a little bit,
Don't worry.
not participating.
Don't
in
worry,
the
buddy.
conversation.
We'll get you up there. Speaking of which, we're all on board that protecting Sledgehog at all costs is
Yeah.
good.
Precious.
Of course, yeah.
Easy.
All right.
So how are we getting this big piece of metal up there?
I think between all of us, we can hoist him up.
How heavy is he?
That's a great question.
It's kind of full of shit. He's made of metal.
It's a rock face, right? I might be able to get creative.
But there were
Could you create a code?
I was gonna say I can probably
Sand elevator.
like mold earth to come out from the
It was
like
the
rock
pipes.
face and like elevator him
entrances
up
along
as we climb.
different sizes that might be like leverage points.
Vision, this won't be the first time we have this.
It will certainly not be.
I'll say that sledge weighs just about 200 pounds.
Okay.
Oh.
6 of us can pick up 2.
I used R2D2 as
Nice.
Awesome.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
there we go.
Canonically, R2D2 is roughly 200 pounds.
Cool.
Okay.
So Sledge Dog is roughly 200 pounds.
Well, roughly 1 R2D2.
I'll send Slink up to the top of that pipe where it went along to the bit where I think you said it.
Yeah, it
runs
splits into a
T.
T.
And then I will send them down each side 50, 60 feet and just use Slink to explore a way to trying to make decisions that move us toward where I sort of triangulate a lighthouse to be. So moving toward the lighthouse whenever I get a decision. If it's a dead end, they'll come
Obviously
back.
come back
and
from the other way.
right down.
And I'll map out where he goes so that we know which is a dead end, which way we took. If we need to come back this way, then we know which way to go exactly.
Yeah, no problem. First things first, just getting up and around the pipes. I'll do a group athletics check for me, please.
Huge.
Can I use that
my last one?
Yes.
Might as well.
All right. Yes, I'll say for you as well.
You said acrobatics or athletics?
Athletics.
Can I as well? Just get rid of the same. Doesn't matter.
Sure.
Yeah, I imagine I just want to like Mega Man X up the walls, essentially.
22.
Wait, what do you guys do?
Acrobatics.
Yeah. Mine is good, but I can't imagine he would.
22.
8.
8.
Hey.
19 athletics, higher acrobatics.
11.
Also 8.
Jeez.
As it
Eight
turns
is
out,
3 to kind.
climbing up a sheer like inside of a pipe that
It's
is dripping
slippery.
with water is harder than you expected to. Anara, you're able to kind of get up before you realize like, oh, that wasn't so hard, and you turn around and not a single member is with you.
Everybody?
And you kind of look over the edge and down at the base of the pipe is still everyone is looking up at you.
Maybe a rope.
Oh, and other than horror, you also rolled high enough to go.
Yeah, if it's acrobatics, then I got a 23.
Oh, but even with athletics was high enough.
I'm just a little bit behind.
Did you bring the rope from Tem?
Yep. Like,
Yeah, I like lasso.
okay, got it. I just kind of like hook it around one of my horns, like kind of loop it through to carry it, and then keep climbing up.
So once Harmony gets up as well, we'll look for a spot to secure the rope to help.
Yeah, if there's another grate or anything.
Yeah, great, or
I guess that wouldn't be good because then we'd be
bar.
blocked.
Or
Yeah, only a few feet past like where this is the first kind of like porthole entrance with the 5 foot kind of smaller pipes, just right there. That is also bars, so you can
Okay.
use those bars
So
essentially.
yeah, I'll
Okay.
hook it around that bar and then hold
Yeah.
it and hold it.
I'll say with that, eventually you all kind of are able to shimmy up with that, and eventually kind of like lasso it around Sledge, and are able to one by you all kind of form a line, pulling him up.
We gotta do it coordinated.
Though he's only
Oh!
200 pounds.
Oh!
Yeah, we'll be fine. We can
Which
get
is a very normal person's weight.
Okay.
But at the top, you send Slink kind of scouting ahead. Give me a perception check using Slink's stats. Please.
11.
11. As you kind of like move down one of the corridors, you get to that T and you turn to the left. Slink goes for a little while before eventually, through Slink's senses, you start to hear voices. And it sounds like a fair amount of them.
Okay.
all just kind of like idle chattering to one another. It sounds like a small crowd.
Maybe it is a problem.
Alright. I'll have Slink very stealthily, like, ooze along the bottom of the pipe until they sense any light source or anything, and I'll warn everyone that I need to see through their eyes right now.
Right.
So, and then I close
Watch
my
out for you.
eyes and we'll focus
You know what to do.
on on what if I can make out, get as close as I can without risking being in any direct line of sight.
Absolutely. You kind of like close your eyes and you feel your senses kind of fade out, and it's almost like you close your eyes and everything's total darkness, and like a reverse Rorschach test, the darkness kind of bleeds away ink-wise until it reveals like the vision of what Slink sees. And the moment that vision comes into clear, you feel it poke in the back of your head. And then another one. Stops for a few seconds.
Basil, why?
And then 2 quick in a row.
What are you?
Zakkai said Anara likes this.
It's true. It's true.
Can I insight check this?
She didn't tell me not to.
14.
With disadvantage.
That's an 8. She loves that.
I think, Basil, I think that he was just messing with you. I
We should,
can't imagine it's easier for Anara to concentrate with.
I thought it's like she knew that she was like safe. Oh.
No,
I think
no,
she. I think she trusts. I think she trusts us. Yeah, I think she
no,
trusts
it's a
us.
good reminder. Keep it up. I've known her longer.
Zakkai,
we should probably at least keep the shenanigans to a minimum.
this is pretty important.
Yeah, we're in a dangerous spot. So let her do her thing.
Slink's like oozing their way down the pipe, and you eventually do see a light source kind of get a bit bigger and bigger. Faint, but make a stealth check first, real quick.
7.
7. No problem. Eventually, kind of like as Slink is moving down the pipe, there is a sudden like kind of rush of water that kind of comes down the pipe and picks them up, and you feel yourself being pushed down the pipe a little bit, and eventually kind of tumble out, and you fall into that small pool that you remember seeing. There was the stairway that came down from the first level of the lighthouse. There's that tunnel, and there's that large pipe that you saw.
Yeah.
As Slink kind of slurps out and kind of splashes down into the pool, and you do
I'll
see that there's
immediately have Slink make themselves into a flat pattern on the bottom of the pool.
Okay. You just as Slink kind of like sinks quickly. From your vantage point, you do like hear a faint kind of like through water voices before you see 1, 2, 3 like kind of like hooded heads peek over and kind of like look around the pool.
I'm connected telepathically with Slink. I'm like, stay still, don't move.
And then like look around the pool. One of the heads pulls back. The other 2 look at one another, more muffled, talking before they both pull back. And then you just see the surface of the water.
Really carefully. Slide up the side until you a little bit are out of the water. But stay on the inside of the pool.
And just Slink kind of like slowly creeps their way up the inside of the pool, and then just 2 faint like little wet black marbles pop out of the surface, and little like ink squid eyes kind of looking around. Make a perception check real quick. Does Slink have dark vision?
Has blind sight.
Oh, great. Just make a straight perception check then.
For me or as
As Slink, if you're using their.
really bad. 9.
Curse the familiars. Never as good as you are. but good enough to see that there were three figures that seemed to be kind of talking with each other curiously as they sort of like move quickly towards. You remember coming down those steps. There was the cave along the.
There was a semicircular corridor that headed toward
around the inside, and you see as the three of them kind of move around that corridor. And
Did I catch any of what they said?
Would that perception check? No.
Okay. I'll have Slink just stay there for a bit and just wait for a few minutes to see if there's any other sign of movement.
Doesn't even take that long, maybe 30-40 seconds later, two more people in yellow robes come down those steps, chatting with each other. And this you can hear. Seem to be very excited, talking about how they can't wait to see what's going to happen. They've heard so much about this grand evolution before. They're not entirely sure like what to expect. They've been promised great things. There's a lot of talk about potential and unleashing your truest self.
Motivational speaking.
Before they eventually kind of disappear behind the corner. As they also head down that hall.
While I'm seeing and hearing through Slink, I can't hear or see anything where I am, but I can say things out loud.
Yes.
So I will start to narrate what I'm seeing.
When Slink was like pushed out of the pipe, were there other turnoffs or any other options, or like the pipe that we're going down just leads into that chamber that we've already been in?
You're not sure.
Yeah, I can describe the layout of the room, and I recall being in that room. You all came through that room as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, we
No.
didn't. You guys went into
You all
the
went
thing.
down into the.
I was with you, and I think who else was down and found the bear traps?
No, that was a
you were
different-
you were down there.
That was
Oh.
not
No, I
connected
know,
to
but
that, yeah.
they were down there while me and you were going down that other way. I
Right.
think.
Oh, yeah.
I had
Yeah, we
so
went
much
down the
trouble
stairs
holding
into
the
that
layout.
room, and you all went into the
You were
writer's
with us
room.
because I remember also giving you one of my light
I
trinkets.
thought you just stayed at the top of the stairway.
Yeah, me and him stayed at the top. I think. You went down.
Yeah, you went down.
So it was a semicircular stairwell
Right.
below the ground floor of
Mhm.
The main entrance of the
lighthouse.
Yeah.
So the same
And
level.
it was a circular room with a pool in the center
Right.
with a pipe coming in,
Mhm.
and then a semicircular corridor went off that area to a corridor that then turned either east or west, I don't recall, to a corridor with those doors,
Mhm.
The valve doors.
circular valve
Yeah.
fastenings on them. And it looks as if people are gathering. I've seen two groups of people come through here so far.
So they must be going towards one of those valve doors. Those are the only things. Was one of those the Pontifex room?
One of them was in
Yes.
the bottom floor, but there was a large door with the wheel crank opening that
That
did
had
say the
the border on it, but I couldn't read it.
And that was this level, or that was one more down?
Oh, that was sort of that.
Okay. So this is the level that the two doors said, like, warning stuff, and
One
we
was
didn't
a
open
warning
them.
door, I believe.
No, because that was all
That
on
was
that
also
same
the-
level on the one we explored.
This floor,
That
this
was
room with the
P2.
pipe
Yeah.
is all that anyone of you have seen of this floor.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the three cultists were on
They were the ones that you,
basement level 1, going towards down one of those.
Yeah, if we have
corridors.
ground level, which is the lighthouse, then basement level 1, which would be what
That's
that
where
was
we
just
are.
described, and then basement level 2, which was where
was
we
down
were.
the dumbwaiter.
Yeah.
Toward, and all the stuff we explored was basement 2.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Okay.
So I leave Slink as flattened up against the wall on the inside of the pool, but high enough up that they will be able to hear any things, and I will drop back into my own consciousness and say, should I send them down the corridor stealthily and find more, or do we want to go in?
Well, maybe we should. As far as we know, the things that we want to destroy are are one more level down, but if we know if Slink can go investigate and see if everyone's gathering just on this first level,
There may
that
not
could be good news for us.
people below them. If everyone's together, then we can get
But
in easier.
If maybe we go back to the main vertical pipe and take one of the... Would there have been another pipe that basically went the same direction but was like a little further down? You know? That would have been like equivalent to basement level 2?
Possibly. The ones that would have lined up with that basement level were all the smaller ones that you kind of use as footholds to get up that main pipe.
Smaller like 5 feet or smaller like very small?
Smaller as in like, yeah, probably that big.
Okay.
So from the room that Slink is in, the way to level 2 would be up the semicircular stairs to the ground floor of the lighthouse.
Back to the dumbwaiter?
Back to the dumbwaiter. It's a risk for us all to get through that way.
Unless we can find where that other door led out. When we heard voices on the
Right.
other side.
There's
Did
a
we
good
have a
chance that-
concept of where that had kind of been?
Because
Was it leading outside? Because we were on the second level down, and it was steps up, but we heard voices out on the other side of the door
Yeah.
at the top of those steps.
Dumbwaiter was here, corridor. This was the study area,
Yeah.
corridor. That's where the machine was, library. And then all the way through and round was
the big
the Arcania.
pool,
And then the
beyond
long,
that.
and that way to the big pool,
Mm-hmm.
to
Down.
the big chamber,
Where we saw it.
up to
And then that's where it
Right.
goes up. Yeah.
Had the fight and then up.
So, historically recalling that last, did it seem like it was like back up at true ground level at the top of those steps, or?
Where you heard the voices on the other side of the door would be on this basement level 1, but you just
Okay.
haven't
So
seen.
So one of
B1.
those doors
Yeah,
or
probably
things
goes-
leads
so-
to an area that connects. Most
So I
likely.
guess they should go look at what's at either end of the corridor.
Yeah.
So I'll dip back into Slink. Any other denizens moving through?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay, so instruct Slink to slide over the edge of the pool, across the floor against the wall, and then stealthily go along that corridor in the direction the voices disappeared in.
Sure.
How far away am I from Slink at this moment? Do I need to get closer?
You are close enough.
Because it's only 100 feet that I can stay in telepathic contact.
Otherwise, we'd have to
We'd
eat
have to
through
read
more
up.
bars, right?
No, I think
Because there's another set of bars, or no?
No set of bars.
We
Oh,
could
okay.
we could go further. It's just that's when we might be at risk of being detected if we go to the end of this. The end of this pipe is we're basically
the
in
That's where the
entrance.
drop is.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
we're-
So we're on a
was it
level
like 40
with
feet, 50
B1,
feet from where we were actually.
Yeah,
where the end of
it's
the pipe was.
still in the
It's about 30
shadows,
feet,
back in that
so
pipe.
you have
Yeah.
still a good amount of range.
So I'll sense link as far as I can. Again, stealthily as possible. Slowly sticking up against the wall, trying to make like a shadow, basically.
Slink peeks around that corner. You see that the kind of rough cave walls give way to that large kind of oval-shaped crank kind of door, which has been left ajar.
Okay.
Beyond it, you see a kind of short steel hallway, cramped, kind of claustrophobic. Not too small for any one of you to kind of go through, but definitely that kind of. You remember it being here last time. The hallways are very kind of narrow and tight.
Yeah, like 5 foot by.
Oh yeah, only by maybe like 5.5 feet by like 7 feet.
Yeah.
While we're waiting in the tunnel, I'm just going to ritual cast comprehend languages on myself.
Alright.
And it lasts an hour.
Did I successfully make any potions or poisons when I was at camp?
Oh.
Or not camp, but at our lookout.
Good question. Give me. Give me an intelligence check, and you can add your proficiency modifier.
Okay. That's a 10.
10? No.
Cool.
Not yet.
Okay.
Still trying to figure out what the
Inferior.
hell half this stuff is.
Inferior tool.
Slink sees that kind of hallway that extends for a short while before making a sharp right turn. You can kind of get up to that too and peek around that corner. That corner goes on. The hallway continues for another maybe 15 feet before another oval door with the wheel crank again left ajar. Leads into a smaller room. It looks to be that there's seating and there's some sofas and pillows kind of strewn about a room, maybe at one point used as recreation or sleep chamber or something, but for the moment, what Slink can see, the room is empty and you do not hear anything.
How big is that room?
From this vantage point, you can imagine it's more than maybe like 10 by 20 feet. It's
quite a small lounge kind of room.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any exits from that room?
Not that you can see from here. You're still like kind of down the hallway
Yeah.
now. So.
I'll send Slink into the entrance of the doorway.
About 3 feet from that door, you lose the connection. It's like you're too far.
Okay. As Slink goes into that out of range, I'll drop out for a second, go down the corridor where I am for another like 10-15 feet, reconnect, and then say stop.
Okay.
Wait here. Put yourself on the wall. And then I'll drop back out and say, okay, I'm at range. This is about 100 feet.
Okay.
The corridor leads to those doors which have been left open.
They're both open?
Both open. Leads to a room that's a lounge-like room, no one in it. Slink is currently on the edge of that room. To get them to go closer, while I can see through them, we need to get closer.
Alright, let's go.
Okay.
Sure.
Move
We
to it.
haven't seen anyone in the path so far. Was Anara at the edge of the end of the pipe already, or no?
No, I'm still with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's
Nara's
another-
still a good like 20 feet in the pipe.
Yeah.
With the rest of you, kind of.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
so-
let's
yeah.
keep moving forward as much as we need.
To get maybe. If I
Yeah.
can get right to the edge of the pipe, I can maybe get
Yeah.
them to go another maybe 20-30 feet, and then whatever we can settle.
Yeah, let's go. Get Nancy.
So yeah, we'll do that. Right to the edge of the pipe, and then I warn people, listen out for the room. This pipe leads into the room with the pool. This is where they are coming through. So listen for them. I will not be able to hear.
Okay.
And I'll put my consciousness back in Slink and have them go again to the not more than 100 feet away.
No.
I know.
Visual.
I was like, I was
Stop.
not able to visualize
My
that.
brain was like, blah, 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 blah.
Even during the explanation, I was like,
Yeah.
One by one.
It's hard to
you will-
remember.
part of it.
smoke
Yeah.
pouring out of my ear.
So we're in
Splash
this
out
pipe.
right
Okay.
here.
Cool. So we're all smushed in that end of that pipe.
Oh, you fell in.
Okay. Where is Slink right now? In
Just
this room?
outside that this room with the sofa, just on the wall, right there. Actually, Slink.
Oh, here's Minnie.
Aww.
Little boy.
You did say sometimes Slink was a cat.
That's true.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
And
this
there
was
also
the-
are no squid minis.
This was the
Yeah.
hallway, and then each of these three
So
doors
this-
is a valve door.
Mhm.
Okay.
And the ones that were open was this one.
uh,
Was this one open?
that one over there was left open, and the one right there was left open.
Okay.
This was the loungy area.
Yes.
So
So we just move forward to the union, connect back up with Slink. Is that the plan?
I said we keep pushing.
Yeah.
So I'll send Slink to this open area at the end. So again, I'm gonna have them go like stay by the
Stick
wall,
into the walls.
Yeah.
so that at any point, if anything kind of comes through, they can
Splat.
Yeah.
We do need to try to
Are
find a
are
way to
we
get...
starting to make our way through here too?
I think so.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
stay close enough. We do need to...
We're in the robes though, right?
Yes. Everyone's wearing their robes.
Okay. So we could, if we can find it. And I guess I'm having them listen out for the sound of voices again.
Mhm.
So it's like in the distance. I'll see if I can find any. Have them hear any sound of a gathering.
In which case, as Slink is sort of making a kind of trek around the room, as you get to the door where they are now, you do hear like the faint sounds of voices again, of kind of the humming and murmuring of a crowd, small crowd kind of. Slink hears that faintly and below them. As you see that Slink peeks into that room, there's no door there. It's just kind of the open hall that leads into another smaller room. That room, it looks to be like a small landing, and then there is a, again, large oval-shaped wheel crank door that's been left open, and then you see stairs kind of descend out.
Okay. And it's that way I hear the voices from.
And that's...
Okay,
where
so
we
I'll
need
have
to-
Slink head back on the wall. I'll come back into. I'm just gonna have them stay right there. And then say okay, and then I'll describe the layout so that the meeting appears to be in this room on the far around this corridor at the far end. There are a couple of doors I did not go through that we can perhaps check out.
How about we see if we can overhear what's happening in the meeting first, before anything happens and they leave or something.
Maybe while Anara's listening through Slink, we do just see if either of the other rooms has another way down. I think we should try to find a different way to get onto the second floor down. If we can, so that we can try to act unobserved if possible.
Yeah.
So when I'm looking through Slink, if you do poke me, that means I'm coming back
Oh,
Okay.
that's not what
from
Zakkai
now
said.
on.
Oh. Okay.
Because
New
I-
rule, new rule.
That means you want me to come back.
Okay. That's the signal.
Mhm.
Okay. Yes.
Noted.
Maybe a few of us go check behind the other doors, and a few people stay with Anara and make sure no one comes up behind us.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll send Slink to the top of the stairway.
I'll scout out. Who wants to come?
I'll help scout.
I'll stick with Anara.
So
I can read any of the. If there's anything on the doors, I can
Yeah.
read it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's good to have one.
So you're checking in here?
either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one was the other open one, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh, so you would check in here?
both.
Yeah,
This
I
is
didn't go in
open,
there,
so
Oh, you
we're
didn't
gonna
go
check
in.
this out.
Okay.
And this
Yeah.
is still closed,
We'll
so if we
kinda-
need to, we'll
And then are
Sneak
we actually like
around.
more right here?
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
go to the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just be aware that people may be coming down behind us
Right,
at any point if there's still people joining this meeting.
Well, we're supposed to be here.
Mm-hmm.
We look like it.
Lockdown.
And then I guess we'll just see what's in this other room.
Oh, a broom closet. I knew that was here.
That door left open, you kind of see inside. There's almost like kind of a white kind of haze in the air as steam kind of has filled a lot of this room. A lot of you see this room has dozens of pipes kind of sticking out of the walls and in the ceiling, just kind of going everywhere. It's a plumber's nightmare or Mario Bros. Dream, depending on what kind of plumber you are. But there's like a lot of them are like that kind of haphazard, just they use a piece of cloth to like just tie off a leak, and there's like a few that are a wrench is still hanging from one only because it's holding two pipes together.
This is definitely not up to code.
Yes.
Wow.
The room is dank, humid, and warm. All manner of brass pipes and tubes stick out from the walls, floors, and ceiling. A few of them buckle and rattle, clearly ready to burst at even the slightest disturbance. Further in, you see that there is another doorway that leads into another room.
Okay.
Let's go check that out.
I guess we'll just
Yeah.
sneak around. Are there any like wrenches or anything just lying on the floor?
Make a perception check.
Doing what I can to dodge these
5.
Okay. Not that you can see.
pipes.
Okay, let's see what's in this next room.
Yeah. Watch your head.
Secondary room is a bit larger. 4 massive copper pipes protrude from the stone wall before sharply turning and continuing into the ground. The pipes look worn, though not from age, but rather excessive use, or possibly because much of the hardware appears salvaged or repurposed. A few of the large pipes hiss with steam or drip little droplets of electric teal substance that kind of hiss a little bit as they touch the ground. A large machine hums against the furthest wall, which displays 4 large gauges, seemingly measuring pressure, temperature, flow, and potency of this mysterious substance.
Oh.
This could be something to sabotage. It looks
Yeah.
important. Let's go for it. Is there anything to read on any of the gauges or pipes or signs or anything?
I mean, they seem to be just like regular gauges where it mostly just have numbers. You're not quite sure what they mean. There are a couple that are labeled. You do see that one is pressure, one is a temperature, and the rest are numbers that you're not quite sure what they are.
Do any of the gauges have a red area?
All the gauges have like the red sliver and the green sliver.
And
they
where
all kind of
Are they just gauges, or are there levers and like
Just
things
gauges.
to? Okay.
there doesn't seem to be any control.
Yeah. That's what I was
It's more like when the person comes to read what is it called?
Meter.
The
Yeah.
electrical meter.
Yeah.
It's that.
Okay.
This is
And
the
then
observation room.
these pipes
The lifeblood
lead
bill for the
down
month.
further
Yeah.
and are
They have some other wall and
leaking
it
ooze.
turns down. Yeah. And any small leaks or cracks seem to be leaking the teal substance.
Okay, well, I'm not sure where these
We
would.
could just start busting up pipes.
Yeah, that can't hurt, right?
I mean, unless that's giving us away too quickly.
What?
Maybe let's see what the meeting is
Maybe
about before
we'll do it
yeah.
right before right
But
before
this
we
is-
want to run or something.
But this is good. Is there any other entrances, exits, etc. in this room?
The only thing is to your right, you see a large, oval door with metal door with a large crank on it. It is shut.
And no writing around it.
No way.
Okay, well, we don't really know where this leads, so we should probably be more cautious.
Okay.
Maybe we just go back, let the others know what we saw.
Yeah. Well, there's no stairs down, which is mostly what we were looking for. So.
Right. Right.
So we'll go. Ready to report back to you guys.
Did Slink is going to the top of the stairwell and trying to perceive. You said there were some voices that I heard.
There were. It's less distinguishable like conversation, and it's just more like it sounds like there is a small crowd at the bottom of the stairs.
Okay. Looking down the stairs, can I see into the room below, or is it like going down and then an opening?
The stairwell kind of goes down before there's a landing, and it turns. We can't see the rest.
So I'll pop back out and say, describe. So the meeting is happening at the far end of the corridor. At the end of the corridor, there's a landing area, a stairwell that folds back, and it sounds like a large number of people are meeting.
Let's get closer.
Yeah. Should we
Yeah.
join the meeting?
We're in the ropes.
Yeah.
Did we see what was in the room yet?
We're learning something. Not yet.
That door is closed. No writing on it or anything, but there is a large wheel crank on the door.
Should
we-
open it up?
We're getting closer.
So I'll leave
Should we
DJ
look in
there
this-
at the top.
Well, we
I guess,
don't know what might be on the other
run
side.
against the wall and be back in with the group.
It probably
But
won't
be ready
be
to drop back in.
all of the cultists, at least, if they're all meeting in the other room.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
we
More
want
than
to like
likely, it is-
hear anything.
If we found
through the-
gauges if we found pressure gauges and stuff in the one room. Maybe there's controls in this room.
Maybe, yeah.
It could be worth the risk of just looking to see if there's a chance that we could just really mess some stuff up from here.
Yeah. All right. I say we
Quick
can
look.
check it out. Yeah. All right.
Try
So we'll try this
opening
valve
this
door.
one.
First, it kind of sticks, and then she kind of cranks it open. Then she pulls open, and the door creaks, leading into a small 10 by 15 foot chamber. All manner of pipes in from the wall and ceiling, some leaking and spurting steam, others drip with that same electric teal substance. The room contains nothing else but a cluttered mess of janitorial and maintenance supplies.
Junk.
Well,
Slink is just up at the end of this room.
Okay.
That's where the
maybe,
landing and the meeting is.
are there's like mops and stuff? I
Yeah,
might take
it's
a
like-
mop. And
Gotta take a
well,
mop.
we might need
The
some
king
sort
of
of
things
alibi
alibi,
for why we're just standing around in a weird place.
Yeah.
Maybe we all just grab a mop and a broom.
I'll grab a bucket. Just random.
Okay.
I mean, if some of
Todd
us need
grabs
our,
a duster.
if you need your hands free, that's fine. When maybe just a couple of us hold something,
Yes.
couldn't hurt.
When
We
I-
can drop it if we need to fight. I'm just holding the mop. It's okay. I'll hold this.
Okay. I'm gonna grab, like, what do they use to, like, sop up spills?
Just
Right.
have this rag.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'll grab some rags. Like,
I think the
Great.
cleaning detail is sufficient. I swept too many
Yeah.
floors in the monastery. I head over to Westland.
yeah, I'll head over after her.
Yeah. Proudly with my bucket.
Hey, Slink.
You guys can be the ones that are leading us. We're new, and that's why we're on cleaning detail, and you're showing us where to go. There you go.
Great.
We got a cover story.
We will. So again, have Slink go down to the fold of the stairs and peek around, see if they can get a look into.
Peek around the corner of that landing, the stairs go down another like maybe 10-15 feet before they kind of stop. There's a small 5-foot kind of like space before another large door left open, and you can see, just kind of looking down the stairs and through that door, a bit further in, you can see the hems of some of the yellow kind of robes, and again, as you kind of go further down, the chatter gets a bit louder.
Can you see which room that is down there?
Yeah, I'll have Slink go up to the edge of the room and get a look in, if I can, just to get a sense of how big the room is and how many people are in there.
You kind of get Slink down there, you recognize the room. This is the large kind of room with all the kind of pipes that lead up to the scene that you fought, the large kind of
That's
uh-huh.
that room.
Same chamber.
This is, and I will sort of immediately
Oh.
drop back. This is the room where that the priest cultist changed into the large monster.
Okay. That's good. That means we know where we're at.
But there wasn't any
doesn't-
important seeming equipment.
Can I get a rough? Because
But
Slink
but
was
as
gathering.
But not
Get
too
down.
far off was the chamber filled with the liquid, and then
Like Slink's not
a
super
little further
smart,
back
but,
there was the
But
was the Arcanium, right?
Arcanium. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see. So approximate.
Yeah.
Is it like 50,
Slink
80?
kind of looks in, you're in a gathering, a ceremony, a demonstration, you're not quite sure. A swarm of these yellow-clad cultists form a massive ring circling a sort of makeshift platform that's set in the middle of the room now. You guess maybe 50, 60 people total. They chatter and murmur excitedly amongst themselves. Then a hush suddenly falls over the crowd as you see kind of making their way towards the ring from the room with the large kind of vats in it that was connected to that main room. You see 2 figures kind of making their way towards the large ring as people like hush and kind of like are looking and trying to get a good look.
If we want to join the meeting, we need to go in now.
Do we want to join the
I s-
meeting, or do we want to sneak around the back way, destroy everything, and leave while they're in this room where we know where they all are?
As soon as she said that, I was starting to move.
Yeah, I think Nik-Nak probably would have also.
So
What about my bucket?
yeah,
Hastily
I'm
follow.
going in. I'm going.
Oh, we're nothing, I guess.
Let's find out what this is.
Okay.
We're going
Stay
to,
towards the back. Stay towards the back.
Yeah, head, file in surreptitiously, and like to sort of join in the back ranks.
Yeah.
Just
Deep
really
hoods.
bad.
Deep
Yeah,
hoods.
I relate.
And I'll pull Slick back up now.
Put the mop behind me.
Yeah,
Actually, I'll leave. If we're heading down, I'll leave the mop on the stairs.
I'll like hide
I
behind
keep
me.
the feather duster. I just put it in my belt on the inside there. You never know when you might need something like that.
I'll have Sledge stay behind the door and out of sight, but ready to jump in if he needs to.
I guess we'll just let's
Try to blend into the
stay
crowd.
close to each other.
Yeah.
And just sort of like join the bag.
If we really need to run away quickly and can get a little bit away from the group, I do have some magic that could help us all move a lot quicker. But I can't necessarily differentiate between us and them.
Okay.
But it would still help us get away.
We should have a signal. Yeah. A noise or like a
Run away!
an image. That works. That's a pretty good signal. Okay, sure. All right.
You meant something more like secret.
In case I don't know.
If we decide, if
Stealth's
we're maybe
not
not
really my thing.
caught, but we decide that we probably need to leave. You mean?
Yeah. I mean,
Clean up aisle 4.
Got it.
Perfect.
Okay, perfect.
Clean up aisle 4.
Yeah, and then I guess
Yeah.
Okay.
we'll try to blend into the crowd.
As you kind of get
I
down.
want to say in the back though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
that very
But we
bad.
don't want to be awkwardly
that-
separated.
We
Yeah,
came
that
late.
door.
We couldn't get good seats, so we're
Yeah.
hovering around the
Yes.
perimeter.
Around the
Station
entrance.
area.
As you get down there are people that sort of like kind of glance back and notice your arrival, but they seem to kind of glance back and just kind of more and just turn back their attention. Hush suddenly falls over the crowd as a figure steps out into the center of the ring towards that sort of makeshift platform that they've built just out of boxes and whatever they have on hand. You see the figure kind of like pulls their hood back. You see tall, dark mocha skin, head of tight blonde curls. As she lowers her hood, she warmly addresses the crowd. Friends, wardens of the great prison, keepers of the nectar, and heralds of the cleansing. It is time. Time that we finally shrug away the confines of our feeble, mortal frames and inherit the strength passed down to us through ages. A birthright we never even knew we had. One older than time and stronger than any power known to Terragia. The truest and grandest evolution to our most glorious potential. Today, Pontifex Helm will reveal to us what true rebirth is. Though our nest has been stolen from us, beyond this night, no other can possibly stand between us and the seizure of progress. We will bathe this world in the lifeblood, and we will spread across the lands in a beautiful cleansing to usher in a new primordial age. The crowd around you roars with applause and cheers. Oh. Bang on the bucket. Yeah.
When she mentions Pontifex, what was the name again?
Helm?
Helm. H-A-L-M.
Okay.
Does she point at the other one that came in with hair?
She does.
What
He's
does
like a
what does that
human.
look like?
She kind of like gestures behind her. There is an excited chatter as each person there kind of revels in the possibility of becoming more or evolving into what they truly are inside. The woman kind of ushers a man also into the center of the ring, maybe in his early 70s, with a long, scraggly beard that drifts out from beneath his yellow hood. His robes are heavily stained with the teal splotches. He is hunched and leaning on a walking stick. You see protruding from his back, there are several like large metal like canisters, or not metal, glass canisters and tubes that kind of just come out of his back and then come back in, all pumping that kind of teal liquid kind of and burbling in each one of them. As he sort of has like a sort of chemistry set kind of growing out of his back, essentially. The hush suddenly erupts into a surge of whispers as people point out and kind of name Pontifex Helm as he steps into the middle of the circle.
I'll take advantage of the whispering to hiss to the group.
Those are the two we focused on if it becomes a fight.
Agreed.
Okay, they're the leaders.
Agreed.
Not now, but
Yeah,
if it comes to it.
yeah, definitely. Not now.
The woman kind
Okay,
of
I can take the 60 people.
Aisle 4 is fine.
the woman assists the older gentleman with all the tubes and pipes on him kind of up onto that platform, and she eventually turns and waves her gestures widely to the group. Who will be the first to welcome the grand evolution into themselves? Come, don't be shy, for salvation is at hand. And she sort of waits for any volunteers. There are a few towards the front of the ring that raise their hand and try to clamor their way. I just want to give anyone opportunity if they also wanted to volunteer.
God, I know.
I so wanted to. Okay, yeah, if she sees me getting antsy, then yeah, and if I feel that, I'm like, hold.
If I can get close to him. Zakkai knows better.
We've some egress. Gotta stay near the back so we can escape.
Right.
Okay. We don't want to get caught. Can't get caught. We cannot get caught down here.
You watch as Pontifex Helm hobbles forward up to the edge of that little
We should try to stop.
kind of podium there.
We should run away.
chaos.
Oh, how the tables were
Eventually, someone manages to clamber their way up to the front. Just a small young man, probably not. Actually, Harmony. You don't know them directly, but you recognize the man as someone that you saw as a passenger on the train at one point. Kind of quickly clambers up to the front and kneels in front of the little stand podium that they've made. You watch as
He was on the train.
Pontifex Helm reaches into his cloak and pulls out a teal, ornate vial of teal liquid that gently pulses with an electric glow. He uncorks it and ceremoniously holds it high before dumping its contents onto the man kneeling in front of him. For a brief moment, all is quiet as the crowd watch in intense anticipation. After a moment, there's a loud crack of bones breaking as the man cries out and keels over. The horror show begins. Skin starts to rip like tissue paper as muscles and bones outgrow it. The body is twisted and rapidly changes. The reaction is mixed. Some gawk in awe, amazed at what is happening, while others recoil in horror. There are a few towards the back that kind of take a step back and actually kind of bump into you as they also seem to kind of realize that this might not be what they thought. When the evolution finally finishes, the man you saw once before is now long gone, replaced with a large bestial creature, covered in thick leathery hide, the body the size and shape of that of a rhinoceros, covered in tiny squirming feelers all along its back, that kind of like very short tentacles all along its back, almost instead of fur or hair, it's just like a ridge of these little squirming tentacles. Its head comes down almost to like a single. There's two eyes, but there's no like mouth or nose. There's just one long horn, one long kind of like horned kind of spike, and around the sides of its head, poking out of the sides, are like smaller kind of tusks that kind of like poke and kind of stick out on all sides.
Little freak. Stop this.
Everyone sort of like stands and gawks for a moment as the woman like kind of in just sheer awe and just as if she looked at the most beautiful piece of artwork on the planet, she steps forward and reaches out and runs a hand along one of the tusks of the creature before turning to the audience. Do you not see? Do you not see the true potential that we... And her speech is interrupted as the large horn in the middle of this creature splits and almost like a blooming flower opens, and inside is almost like a blender of teeth and a long spiked tongue that kind of whips out and lashes out and wraps around the foot of one of the people in the audience and starts pulling it rapidly towards it, and the mouth slams down, crunches that man almost nearly in half.
Taking a few steps back.
The majority of the audience screams and starts running as chaos starts to ensue. What are you guys doing?
I'm
Are
gonna
they
shout.
running like scattering, like just running everywhere?
At the moment, it's this. Imagine a group at the circus just watched one of the lions escape. The circus tent is people are both fascinated, some people trying to get even closer to it. Most of the people start trying to like look for ways out, and the only one that you see is directly behind.
Clean up aisle 4! Clean up aisle 4!
I'm gonna shout out.
Stop this.
I'm gonna shout
We'll
out.
go around the other way.
That's not what you promised us. I'm out of here to try and like rally anyone who like was thinking maybe I'll stay for this.
Make a persuasion check.
This thing's gonna kill innocents. I mean, not that they're innocent. But we have to kill them.
I don't know. Like,
And they're
what's,
right here. The leaders.
yeah, what's the old man?
Let's do it.
21.
Very well.
These people are running. We should just. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna start moving forward and like moving through the crowd
Wait.
toward the danger.
Yeah, after I shout, I'm
Towards
gonna
it.
also run.
Where's they're going? Come on,
Yeah,
Harvey.
I'm like,
I'll grab Harvey's hand as we're going
Yeah,
forward.
I'm like vaulting
I
over
start rummaging
people
in, like,
and
Step to the back of the chamber, so I'm against the wall. Robes off, longbow out.
Alright.
yeah, I'm gonna start just vaulting over people as I like start to tear off my robe.
They're
And then,
running. These are just civilians.
Spurred on by that very persuasive shout, you see a lot of the people towards the back where you guys were are kind of spurred on by Nik-Nak shouting and turn and start kind of like moving and rushing, sort of bottlenecking into the staircase that leads up.
Yeah, I'm gonna step off the side. I'm just gonna like not pull you forward, but pull you off to the side and be like,
Yeah.
get out of the way.
Once I see it, if I see that happening and I hear Nik-Nak was like kind of yelling that kind of thing, then I'll just run for your lives! Run for your lives! Like, I guess we should get them out of here.
Basil, you kind of are like kind of ducking and bobbing away through the crowd. You see at the little podium makeshift podium that they made, the Pontifex kind of stumbles back a bit, kind of like looking up at this like creature. They seem make an insight check real quick.
That'd be a 17.
Okay. There is a look of genuine shock on this older man's face as he kind of like stumbles back, turns, and faster than you would imagine an elderly man could, dives kind of into the crowd and seems to be pushing their way out, but back where they came, deeper into the laboratory, sort of where that room with all the liquid in it.
Okay.
They're heading that way.
I want to try to keep my
Just the old
track
man
on
is?
him.
He's
Yeah.
everyone else seems to be kind of like lost in the chaos. He's the only one that you notice is focused on a direction.
Okay. I want to try to, like, as the chaos is happening, try to keep a look on him and going a little bit closer towards him because I'm assuming that's where everyone else is.
Should we?
Do I
do we
see
see
that
this?
from where
Yeah.
I am at the back? The old man moving that way. I also want to get eyes on what the woman's doing next to the rhinoceros dude.
Should we try to run past them into the next rooms? We know a way out that way.
Yeah, I'm already moving. I've already moved
Yeah.
around the back of the cavern in that direction, staying by the wall, and I just want to see if I also pick up that movement.
I also want to know if I noticed that because I'm running toward.
I'll say that neither of you notice the Pontifex. You do both notice the woman. She's like trying her best to kind of calm the crowd, basically telling them that this was supposed to happen. This is a good thing. Don't relax. This is what, basically trying to counter that and saying like, no, this is what it is. Don't you see that it is great, wonderful?
It is the grand
And she tries to like put herself between the crowd and the creature. The creature seems to be trying to pick out its next victim, and the woman is sort of deterring it only but just by being in the way. It seems like it's definitely a don't worry, we have this situation covered. This wild animal is totally not a danger. It clearly is.
Does it look like it's remotely interested in eating her, maybe? I mean, does she feel that she's really safe? Does it look like?
She's acting with complete confidence.
Okay, so she doesn't think like she's a terrorist.
I'm gonna activate my armor of sand, and I'm going to fling my chakram at the woman.
As a woman?
Yeah.
Roll hit.
How much space is behind and like around? Like, is the creature kind of taking up the whole area? Or are they in the middle of the room? And if we were to like run around them, we could get out the back towards this way.
That large room down there is where you all are.
So we came out through here.
Yes.
There's like
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna say that I came like around the corridor to sort of here.
I'm running my way forward.
I'm gonna say I came around this way.
You see the Pontifex running this direction. The woman is sort of standing towards the middle of the room, separating the crowd from the.
Between her and the crowd.
Yes.
Or where did we come down from?
Okay. And the crowd is in a sort of like ring around.
They
so
were
it's
all
still
on the
running.
edges.
Okay.
So that way.
And then we're like trailing behind
Yeah.
probably, and I'm like,
So they're sort of moving. Most of them are going out that way. None of them. The
Most
others
of
are
them
going
are-
that way.
No one seems to be going anywhere deeper. There are a few people that seem to be heading in like that direction, but then a few you see kind of are pushing them away from that direction. A lot of them are trying to kind of all come around to that side where the entrance is and are sort of bottlenecking and getting themselves stuck in that area.
If I spot the Pontifex at all, I want to take a shot at the Pontifex before he gets out of the room.
Make that
I rolled a total of 8.
8.
Yes.
You kind of like fling your chakra mat towards her. Just
Actually,
there's too much chaos.
Actually, with my I'm dual fighting. With my second hand, I'm gonna toss another one.
Alright, roll it.
Jeez, 15.
15.
Yeah.
Crowd's a bit too chaotic, and here you get a decent aim.
Hmm.
But eventually you kind of like, they come back to you and no purchase.
I just got a 22.
22. You just are able to see him kind of pass into this hallway, kind of quickly hobbling along with kind of glass vials and tubes on his back, kind of clanking and clanking. As
Do I have a chance to get a shot at the tubes?
roll it.
Yeah, if I had any deal with him before, do I have any shot at him at all as well? Okay. Oh, can I throw my bucket at him to try to bucket at him to cause temporary confusion?
Yeah.
Sick.
Doesn't know how you
So
see
that's
it.
23 to.
Bucket's coming in the
I'm
air.
specifically aiming for the
For the
stuff
glass.
coming. Yeah, the glass are coming back.
What was it? Just a perception check?
Oh no, just roll it.
Oh, roll the hit. That'd be a 15.
The bucket kind of hits the ground and kind of rolls off to the side a little bit.
Got
Anara, your
That'll
arrow
trip someone.
whizzes through the air and hits one of those kind of glass bulbs and it shatters. And there's a spray of that kind of teal liquid that kind of bursts out, hits the walls, and a few bystanders who immediately kind of recoil and kind of scream a little bit as you watch as they get quick visible acid kind of burns around their faces and bodies. But he doesn't seem to slow down. He's still moving.
while the creature seems to be like still very aggressive and I'm kind of on the side, like I'm like looking around, but the creature definitely seems bad. I'm gonna just like hold my arm out and fling a spell down and cast Dizzy on the creature. So it's an intelligence save.
As you're doing that too, as I see all of this craziness happening, who's closest to me? I guess you, Nik-Nak, and Zakkai. I will cast Bless, and have some little threads go out and wrap, like it's like a little bow around your wrist, a little thread tied there.
Like a friendship bracelet.
Yeah.
Basil, this way.
Let's go.
Let's go.
The intelligence save was 3.
Nice. So they are. Let's see. 1 psychic damage. But dazed until the end of its next turn. I think they made an official dazed condition at this point. I kind of forgot whatever it was. I think it's like they can pick whatever, an action or a bonus action or something. But also then, if they willingly move more than 5 feet, they make a dex save.
To see if they fall or not.
Yeah. If they fail, they fall prone. If they fail by 5 or more, they fall prone, and the movement speed is 0 until the end of its turn. Right. So I'm trying to just like disorient him to like try to keep him from chasing the rest of the audience as they're running.
It can't help itself, and it's going to make a save against that because it tries to lash out at another bystander.
Which is 14
again. 12.
So it falls prone.
So as it kind of like, again, that central horn in its face blooms open to this like massive kind of like starfish of teeth and viscera as it kind of like tries to reach out and clamp down on another cultist, but they manage to like get out of the way as it stumbles a bit, kind of like lands on the ground a bit, which doesn't seem to have made it any happier.
If I see all of this going on, I'm just like, okay, and I'm gonna take a shot. He'll pull out my blunderbuss and take a shot at the lady.
At the lady?
Yeah.
Amazing.
So long as we're all just going out.
From your looking off to the
no, I probably was going to run up to within like here, if that's like 15 feet or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. All right, Nik-Nak, go ahead and take a shot. Roll that dice.
That's a natural 20.
That's a big boomstick.
But
it hits.
Yeah. So.
Watch out, Basil.
Wait,
Basil,
that
he's coming back at
hit
you.
No. So we both have to roll strength saves.
He's coming back at you.
You can add a d4 to that saving throw. I know it's not
but I will. Why not? Or that's another thing.
When he pulls the blunderbuss out, or the not blunderbuss, the boomstick, whatever he's calling it. Since he's right next to me, can I do the help action to like ground his feet?
I'll say if
Like with my earth.
No, but I will say especially because there's a swarm of people kind of constantly moving around, and Nik-Nak is 2 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to like give him any sort of assistance, I would let you do that.
Okay. Yeah, I will help you. Like
advantage.
Yeah.
Okay. Natural 1.
All right.
It was meant to be.
That's okay.
There's no life. There's no life.
Didn't do any damage.
Yeah, I
per
tried.
se, so it's okay.
Her save was a 13.
Oh, she also fails.
All right.
Gets blown back.
So
Yeah.
Nik-Nak just runs up. There's a huge gunshot that like rings out as both he and the woman go flying in 2 different directions. And immediately
Gotta
kind
get
of
your nighters!
So that's. Where's the other one? There, 2. And that. Remind me of our rules again for
You can
crits.
roll
roll the dice. Double
re-roll
damage.
any one that you want.
Yeah.
You can either double the dice or roll them twice.
Okay.
Either way, you get to choose anyone you want to re-roll once.
But then it's double that. Okay, then I'm gonna re-roll this one.
It's just to help keep getting like a crit that's like a 1-1-1.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can avoid.
10, 18, 12, plus 2, 32?
What? Yeah.
32 points of
Holy
piercing damage.
Wait, do you take though?
I don't take any.
Oh, you don't take any?
No, my save is just
Okay.
to not get blown back.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But she gets
And
pushed
she
back
gets pushed back.
50.
She is.
I thought you take
She is launched off her feet as the gunshot just goes off, and she screams and flies back.
That's what she gets for impersonating a professor.
You get blown back as well.
Well, oh, yes, I did.
Liar!
What a crime!
You're stumbling.
The gunshot like rings out, the kind of like deafening this room super echoes it as it kind of like rings out, everyone kind of quickly turning to see what the hell that just was. The one who's most curious is the large creature as it kind of big head turns.
I would
single
be trying
one at
to
you.
spam it.
Spamming
It starts to
Dizzy
get
at
back up, and I'm just like trying to keep. I'm just like no, like trying to keep it down.
I'm also turning my sights on it because I think I got a little bit of a head start. So if I see her get blown back, I'm gonna like pivot and start going toward the prone creature.
You kind of like skid up to it. It's basically you in a ring of kind of chaos around you, now face to face with this giant creature. The kind of central horn moves at you, opens up, that tongue kind of whips out at you. And we're gonna cut there.
Not the tongue.
Zakkai does nothing.
He lets it happen.
If this is my fate, so be it.
Alright, guys, we're gonna pickle now.
Oh my
god. We're gonna figure out who lives or dies next time. Thank you so much for joining us, you guys. Amazing session, and we're gonna see what happens next time. Please join us then. Until then, please like, subscribe, follow, all those things. Hit bells, hit likes, whether you want a check mark or not. Comment. Again, things you like, things you don't like. We're not gonna read those. The things we like, we'll definitely read. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.